Anopen so yatena se yeda gudemu nsem na ede ebrewo every sabia kopim se to for go bebo agudemu nsem ana yede eba djubadi ya sisa no se yebemu akwanya na nso brepem wetimi ede wadwenkyere ede aba eye djubadi so na yetimi akenkan ede ama yenya trasi de 12 ana yesode entertainment nyina wa brepo beti obia ansonka ewo eye djubadi so na wenim se nsem ni pi Evin semo an confirm so ansem ewa ha sisi no yasa World Cup na se enti ukofo we na ye kan nyina bom na yetimi edi nkomo no papa edi ama sisi matches no baby yasa se edu minim wa wutie mi no senior na we si expect World Cup no sambepe ana wanya na ene ye the big question na no pay minim bedwafo ye nyina ye bebo eho enkomo na nso etimi di wadwenkyere edi abadwumadi so asa that no so for the matches ayabono referees womu madimbo saying na wonsu uhuno anafe ensema ekoba around the World Cup obete yesi ama we visa wobete yesi ene England crowd ya no akwada yesi womu players ne kwakọ wi omo na amansem na ba be bebre Jimmy Carragher kasa de afa ho Dido Drogba womu nyina kasa edi afa sa World Cup the way niama esi ekwenti wonso yebebia akwanya no edi amana wetimi di wadwenkyere edi abadwumadi so aside that Black Stars womu preparation so far aka nefo be 9 pe na Ghana ya boy first game aso Ghana ye ready aye betimi ediesia Panama na Thomas Tepate emobi ewe ye first game we mu no ebe ha Black Stars na woso adwenkyere ya na odi aba dwumadi so but one big question now no pay me bi say say we Ghana obi anche da ni gidie ewe Black Stars nim but players o masia kan ni bi da o monya Ghana fo nyina fi say Ghana team no eye team ewo so a group no ono na be tope wo mo chasa Ghana betima se England Ghana betima se Croatia wo mo chasa Panama akra de on Sunday ewo Ghana anim ade no ma hu ni different all Black Stars ma mimi no mienu ye hu ye ntia ebia yen se da nitidie all Black Stars no mabedwafo beba na yetime edi hu nkomo na fe wo so adwenkyere we de aba ayadwumadi so another yene former Santiago goalkeeper Fariga sorry edi nkomo na asori emense se woko ya no South Africa no wobie bisa na se okaso bokotokwa omse team kase sa na oboy koloko dia wasoro womunnim kodoko yie pa but ye question na no pa ye se ya yeti Ghana hey ene ya ye hekoroko matches aye nim korokodo picture fofo na nkrofo no hunu wo ho ana se ye na yen shada embu ye korokoro asa eye so big na die nti ana amasi se ne Ghana ye fi se koroko enye too big biem outside there womun se koroko enso eye big club eno nkomo ewa ha ye wi ebreba ma koroko new air direction ade aba in terms of technical director at as for football no enema baba dane eno so ye bedi nkomo kakra ewo eye dwumadi so and abusia enemi nyina enso be and now no pay kopim say 12 o'clock ebebo from Gabi Thuram the foreigner and 30 minutes Jude and so ewa ha Joshua Olotu ewa ha Fifi man for the Bismarck Owusu Bempa Ayala na fe Riches Medonko women nyina tadwumadi achi Steve Zando Sokoban Fatilo ana afe Princeton womo na produce dwumadi kwabode Jaffa bode ana edi atoso ewo internet no so na fe so on social media platform nyina so onso uhu ye ewo eye eso enti anope kacha woni ase yaba na yaba be di Ghana football home komo yaba di Black Stars o sane be yebetime aboye pa beta sisi amakato se ade ba ko ehunya pa ya pomden agwaze wa pomden ko ya emwa ama bibia nwie pa ya no pese ma banka ne manya anka ade aguna de ya pa ya so ye bema na wayu botom abo akohoma na wo hwankoda suku na fe wi sika editu fie yemfanya aduane ni na oba nim se waye bibie wie wo to anwumre eda watema bo abaso a eduwa bantwere bo wato ape ewo mpam wo bo dabrijo ewo mpam mesawa emanu wo mani nye ho kra eya do ba kopɛ Kulon Ghana Limited woman no me say drone e de aba but which obi akata say eye Mr. Kill eno na obi ade atum Mr. Kill de me medro we limit to e form premature ejaculation me say ade eye mahi pa eye slow reaction for no sabi o ne be ma na nya say enso de onemom sabe be so de na say ba be si adane brasmeti atameja kwabena ne be ma tunsem ade hama boboso kwa ansana obetima ye no de ya adwuma atese no so ha adwene papato we ye be ma na tese edu ebeboa eye Mr. Kill Dr. Kato so libido former pato edu na nya ba bia eye Mr. Kill Kulun Ghana Limited ana kofade aba waba WJ na sexual weakness dia wunya droyi bia ebeboa ye party ni we ye be ma adun so a woti ya be ma mu wotun so tentem I saw within 5 minutes. Not just a whole sanko. Ebasa when your problem. Now, would your company Dr. Kato say prostate enlargement and atitwa. Where do you back up? And your Huntun capsule. Huntu capsule and on a bad boy pa. Adianine Sabio Bama Jun so we now Puma your friend of Drobian Cadam ceasefire. Uban Sanania man de pedepe. Sabio Anka Diananka etano. Uban say Ubeyi where dia two ni kamba and I say insuring na baby and bato. Ebo koko uye uanesa obema ya yekojo to eba se ha dwene udun so twa na esa ahoade bam ahoade baba eno aye huntu capsule eno na mekamfo edi amanti bo prostate no ban eno ati uye oba na wutemi ya ka memedie ube so obey ubeye ndia obeye bia wa bisa se bra mpacho wa wi ana ade a wono wanya feelings bia wani ntwide wani he enanso suo no he wani mto abasa atazade kwanya nika but all your ba na otesa na woni rasia wo mpem na wonya feelings a wonso adoye araba bazen tablet na Kulun Ghana Limited aye ade ama man nyina se betimi abo ama oba woni rasia wo mpem a wonso feelings no watimi ama awade na so ye party we ye ba ma na aye tesa entwem ono no konkoto bra beto bi na fa kokoma no eno ati menstrual pains menstrual disorders sabi oba ubu nsa eni kwanse etwetwese wo menstrual cycle no say very accurate abro so cry bi adaba ko bi pe na nka bi ansesan ba beta wo de de ebaba 20th we be na 30th we be na first ebasa emwaye denti atisa say blood circulation no enkoye enti eba sa edu ebebo aye araba bazen tabete no ana ebebo amoja nipadua no moja di mafrusa ne ye na boja nso mu ansan kama na fe unso sabio ubu nsa wunya oya obia eno be hasie ama chese infertility no so ahwe asie seri nyina ade ama entu yo ba unso ado aye araba bazen tabete no so anam se da bi anopa de payin pa wo me de Kulun Ghana Limited aba no anopa ese enya no ofidiem ha na adwempa etetre nti omudi se nupa we ede abra Ghana man no one ye mo honkomo aso ehefa na ne duduo mu enso ewo no ma no ha de but memo no ankasa wati afi danum ene yesika kum yegine kwaku anum ana papa ni bizaza bato sa no kwaku no ne hwan me ana Adam Mr. Q, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Na empom to say.
Nyamiadomo na o say.
Oh, nyamiadomo so me ho ye pa. Yenya hu say de mema nyina ye okay.
In fact, o ka Mr. Q no bi wo ho a onim say o ye bema, ba onye bema o ye duro.
Sa o hu.
O ti Mr. Q no de onye bema o ye duro.
Ampa Mr. Q. E duro no de Mr.
no.
Na ti mi say de dwuma ye esun pa.
So o ti Mr. Q no de a obi anim. Mr. Q dia onyati Mr. Q dia onye bema oye duro. Obo mema pa.
So why Mr. Q? Then na Mr. na mde mano.
Wow say eduro bia ewo dia ofano.
Okay.
Unya ho Mr. Q na ekire say bema dia no.
Okay.
Wow say araba bazin tablet unya bo araba obi anim say oba din no. Say oba na ebetima yede efa. So uti Mr. Q na ekire say mema kwa na etime yede efa sa eduro no.
Okay.
Sa eduro no so omudi haban na eyeye. Enye chemical bia omudi frafra ekoyeye. Haban kwa na omudi eden. Omudi yeye. We no Mr. Q no ufa e benefit na ewo veins no.
Okay.
Umoja kwan ne nyina ebesiesie ho ne nyina na moja ne temisane ye. Bema bia owo ho have experience say oh mikotoko yam ya. Misisi yam ya. Sa ne ma ne nyina umoja kwan esisi a na moja ne ntimi nsane yi a tembia obenye sa hawo no usisi be ya oya okotojo ya oya ba ukofa Mr. Q na ebe bene saa fat ne nyina ebe nane saa asrade a ewo umoja kwan ne nyina entimi mma moja ne nsane yie no na etimi kɔ bebia efe se ekɔ na ekɔ saa no so wi a obehu se mpa so agro no yesisi ene ye kotodwe na ediye so bema usisi ene ukotodwe entimi ye adwuma uni oba ne hia untimi mbo adwuma ne yie ba moja ne timi sane yie ema bema na uni oba ne hia obehu se osusu betima ye adwuma ne yie enti no mo frɛ ne Mr. Kill no so unuma na enane moja na ewo umoja kwan ne nyina enane saa ne ma ne nyina afiri ho a moja ne timi sane yie a wa kasa bema no ukohia oba no a obehu se obema no susu beye ebeye ba saa ne ma ne nyina ewo wo ho a na entimi nane moja ne ntimi moja ensane ye ewo wo moja kwan ne bibia efa sese ekwa a ukohia oba no obehu se within 5 seconds na obema na ajo because entimi mba but etimi yesa na obehu tembia blood ye de epompi eyadwuma na blood ne ye adwuma obehu se oho no susu beye adwuma so obehu se bema no timi yesa no a enti no say Mr. Q de memedro enye memedro sa pe but eboa wo bema no na osisi ene ukotodwe ne tembia ebetima anya ahondi eye de epe obehu obi a okwa adwuma wi a na osoro na say misisi yam ya mikotodwe moja ne ntimi nsane yie ba moja ne sane yie a obehu sa hawo no nyina unhu so sana na bema no moja ne nsane yie ana untimi ye ho dwuma uye den ya oba ne ni enje because oba ne tembia uye de efasa se uye but eba mpaso agoro no susu a untimi ye so eyesa na obehu se tembia oyire obemuna tembia ukodrufia no muna ukodrufia no muna because uninu kohia na hondi ni chen wudie wu bema na obehu se tembia na omuna enti na kan ma bebre timi fa omukunichi no because wu bema na wonim se wo haw na wan trete hu na wa agya na oba no hu se tembia oba wuntimi ye adwuma no adwuma a opese wo ye ma no wuntimi ye
o da kwaso kwen
ha na obi beka se yenko akra na osini ejeso
enne
le we akra dia na osini ejeso
obafa ka afoforo
aha obafa ka afoforo unya pia na okonye obi a ne huti no timi yes adwuma no tembia enti na de bia obehu a be ma be kwa akwahye yenye die ne meyi no ese bisa wo hu se de na otimi ye wa se de ewo mpana so no utimi ye ne yie ana mesre wo be ma bia otimi kasa no upese wo ye wa se de ewo mpana so yie a kofa Mr. Q.
Okay, so Mr. Q no na say say o bednom na obema agina so na watimi dia ya adwuma emom bo ni padua no entire mu asisi baabi a ese moja faye bibia besane kama enti usisi be ya adwuma wapaso no wapaso be ya adwuma okotodwom be ya adwuma ye na etimi aboa sane akoba emam
saa na etie ba ye bema mususu a moja efa ho ye moja ni nyina sane ne eno susu efa ho so entimi mfa ho yi a obehu se tembia bema ahondi ni ekofom ahondi ni susu kofom a na oba ne wan hu se bema na oba no ya ahondi ni nyepe obehu obi a oba no untimi ndi na agro because unni ahondi no na untimi nsa nkodi na agro tama oni die ne be pagya na odie ne susu aba obi wo ho nya akoduro wa breast nti opese oye ne ntentem dan bia obewuro ma agisa wo bokoko na bema uti wa usisi ene ukotodwe nye eye dwuma ubeye den abokoko ubehu se oba ne tembia oda ho a na ninje ba utimi kwa na obono kokoko ne na eye agoro no so Mr. Q ne enye se unya numa na eye adwuma sa ma wo ba unuma enani sa this na ewo umoya kwan ne nyina na esiesie ho no yamfa ne se within 10-15 minutes na eye sa adwuma no ma wo no ubehu atam na oba ne de ne be de ebe ba soro no na odie no susu akohia no ubehu se oba ne ni beji na osusu ni eji but one yes ade no ubehu tembia no wo how ewo o system no so wo shi oba no a untimi ye di open no
yendi Gabi yendi araba bazin tabati wi ya bahuntu capsule
so wa hu se be ma de a me kirekire no oba susu wo sa hawo no nyina oba susu a no moja ekwan ne esisi a ontimi nye ne menses ne yie etwetwese
okay
so arababazim tablet ne ben nani bibia oba soso owo saa haw no soso a oni atenka obi soso wo ho a owo infection ewo no ho yamfa ne say gonorrhea ene syphilis ewo oba no ho so onu arababazim tablet ne ebe clear saa ne ma ne firi ho so e clear saa ne ma ne firi ho a ne nani moja eye clotted ewo no veins ne ene saa ne ma ne enani ni nyina obehu a obenye ne menses no obenye ne pepepepepe entwetwa nsi so eye saa no wi a oba no susu atinka ne beba soro bema ne be hia no a obehu se sisi ame oba ba obehu a oba bi wo ho a owo saa gonorrhea ene syphilis no saa wo saa menstrual problems no se etwetwase no so bema ne ba ne ntempo a onti de tembia ete se bema ne be ha no na bema no etimi bo eka ewo ho a na ekoduru bebia ono susu benye ne nidie no a na otwitwi otu a obehu se bema no buo befu wu oba no pa ba wu se bema no to Mr. Q no to araba no komo oba no so a obehu oba ne di num ne die no na esiesie no na wu bema no susu unum wu die na esiesie no mu nyina akohia obehu se tembia wo sori
na manage aba
anigye beba because upie mpo obehu anapatutu ma bebrebre obehu se omunigye aba ewo mpa no so a osore anapa na obepra uti se otatu nyum kakra ana osi ekuku a otatu nyum ono osi be ma ne niam obehu se otunyum kakra
anigye ofie utimi sa anapa anka ni kwa se anigye o hosa bet na nkeka wo so
ni baji because enra no oye adwane kama ma be ma no omuko mpa no so a be ma no susu eye ne kama man so be man no sori a obehu be man no po a na otosam na nwum e man no obesi asemesi mi wura na wuko ye ntembe na obeba ba obehu oba bi wo ho a ne ninji mpo a be man no pie mpo
o kan kra wo mfio
o papa wo he no on friend di mpo
o makra jai o pa da ho
saa no mtie so be ma otimi ye saa no a na oba no susu timi to arababazin tablet obehu se mienu no nyina tembia munni how bia because oba no wo gonorrhea any syphilis no a e man atinka ne kofom na be ma no susu wantima anton ma no so a oho ne ahihwie ni nya wo be ma no tembia usuro se ukoho a obenye saa haw no so obehu se tembia na be ma no mpese okọ oba no ho saa no susu oba no badwini se tembia ukọ adwuma no ukọ asemesi ho ana utwe kwan ekọ baabi fufuro oba no susu oba na be ma no wuntimi susu a onu susu dwini
onu susu dwini se unzo akọ baabi fufuro
so upese saa adwin fufuro no firi mu ntema wo be ma no mpo a ukoto Mr. Q no a misre wa koto arababazin tablet no susu komo oba no so mi wura me kwae o muka edro we asem na me hu se o mitoma wa ebeboa mi suma anya me de ususu wo de ani gi na hu de yebe so oba no nu we no hu se wa boa no pa no atem bia no obebo wa abaso ba obehu oba bi wo ho na se na we de oyebema so oba ka se we de oyebema ndi asem bi etechire
enti Kulungana Limited adroi obi pe bi ato eyin fa na obekọ ana se obi pen dudu mpeso otuton a number ben so na obefre
0244
27 54
29
0244
27 54 29 upe your office a you wo Manchester traffic opposite Rose Palace ohona na office no ba uwo bebia na opebi ti se tafo uko PFA pharmacy a pharmacy kase uko ho ana obisa Mr. Q ana ye dro ni nyina ewo PFA pharmacy na wo Ashton wa ye wo Colinac ye wo Misty pharmacy emrom na esa wo Apidan na uko Kewa ye wo Blessed Record na ye Fred Mens na uko G side no a ubenye Costa pharmacy ubenye bi na wo yamfa ne say Sofo line side no a Western pharmacy omusu ye wholesale ubenya na uko Santasi side no a ye NA pharmacy and Asak pharmacy ubenye bi wo ho na wo ko poliside no a ubenye Gilponia wo ho tech Gilponia na wo ko poliside no a wo bo Hamay wo ho na wo sa ko stadium side no a Panacea bebia Panacea wa ura ho a edru no ubenya ana herbal shop ana pharmacy bia ebe o misre wa frɛ ho ufa ho ana obi say open Mr. Q ana araba bazin tablets ya mesre wa wo benye bi ato
okay yamfa hunchu capsule wie
hunchu capsules de be ma o
ede man ye be ma na
wa say hunchu capsules no be ma bi a over prostate enlargement dia no one boa no ho no omdi catheter ne hye no ho dia ontimi ye be ma djuma biom
okay
mesre wa be ma wo abontin na otie mi wo prostate symptoms to say ujunso a oti yaw ana ujunso a obema ne eyaw ya ana wo sexual infections a ewo ho yemfa ne say gonorrhea and syphilis ne nyina misre wa akoto hunchun capsules no because one koto a na sa haw no nyina ebeto so na okọ hospital no maka che say bema de ekoduru dia agise ye di catheter ehye wo bema no omo di catheter ne hye wo bema no ho a usisi se ubeye bema biom because one Johnson kwa na obetimi na Johnson no ho bisa wo se bema ukwa na omo di rubber ehye obotom na ukwa na Johnson no so no guma eye ana ukohye oba ubeye de aye djuma no so misre wa upese sa how we ni nyina enkosi wa kwan mu a misre wa akoto hunchun capsules no bema na uhu sa symptoms na menya ka no ubema ne ya oya ana ujunso ntentem ana uti ho a na wo se upant na ye ko a eche wo se ujunso ade ne ehya ase eyemre eyemre susu a ukọ hospital a wa hwe ye omedi sa ye dia ye frɛ catheter rubber ne ekọ hwe obema ne omedi hwe obema no susu a wa hwe ye a de ye frɛ bema djuma ne de untimi ye because ye nim se bema djuma ewo mpa no so edia wodi e wonka ho mesra wa bema bia otie mi munkofa hunchun capsules ne ebeboa wo
okay enti sama ya number ni bim na
yes so number ni 0244 27 54
54
29 your office no susu wo manshare traffic unya duru ho na o se o manshare traffic ya me pekunun for office ni ye ni Rose Palace na direct opposite uba ho a ubenye edro ni nyina eto
okay era se Kulun Ghana Limited ana ye ni omonso ekodi eye nkomo no nupa wo mde aba hunchu capsule benya biato araba bazin tablet nso ubenya biato na afi wade Mr. Kill na eja bentwerebo etimi aboa ama wo mensem na enso etimi akoye kaba pa enti abusia enkomo ni afi ana yase dwumadi na ase enti afi no aba ye mo akwaba kwa de ma menye ni sei na yense program na ase na intimi enko yenim sa
Oma krumo anya hwe kura wo ka bre be TV tina fiere ha umri ajuku esa wo
tina wasi ade tina judu weni abro
oh tina mo TV anaza de
ade no weni abro tinjire chai
ana me zaman fro da sama me kan me boa o ko je be sa ko he wo ka ana US for say kachi e ko document ni na ya aha e bi kura na ko bi kura ni aboa mo aba na usika ni ade na akwese de kwa etu dia tena Ghana anya hwekra ya te senchire fm say omne ag mo akabu mo the giant screen
yes
esi ho matches ni de wuyi
of course
etu how ni say
afede duabo nyina be
afede yeso obi pia mo nyam betua mo ka
ade no ayabro World Cup shekekasu ade na trans
yes on say US for no omo ntitwi no to me ya no mabusa Ghana for akwa no say na Ghana for so he omo obrum ya okay so hey omo kasi ai ani akoko kwa ma
na bo no kwa kekesuro ya fa visa no we no so
ya sebo
just ade na bro World Cup
na za akwa no sanke de visa no ma na mzenka na dia obeba bi
asa ya nso ya kan bebo ya bo qualifies no ya ni atro
o enu de na eye agro me nya sure say de ni eye was said no of course enu de they take Sanya money into consideration because they are now for years cited na omyo na mom ye visa no US na ye visa ni ade na mean it's normal.
a World Cup season and yɛwura mu nti no but nneɛma bebree ɛbɛsesa yɛbɛdi nkɔmmɔ around the World Cup na yɛtumi adi nkɔmmɔ around Black Stars na yɛtumi akɔ yɛnim ɛnkyɛ so yɛbɛbia ɔman de abam nam so madwe nkyɛm atumi ɛde aba but for now wokɔ ɛyɛ YouTuber ɛno yɛ Nhyira TV ɛwɔ YouTube handle na wɔde comment no aba na yɛakenkan ɛde ama ɛwɔ dwumadie so exactly 10 so yɛbɛdwan ne yɛnua no mo nso ɛwɔ nkra asempa na yɛnkɔmɔdi atumi atwɛne akɔnanim but now another game a ɛtɔ say na esikɔ Canada wɔmo ɛne Boston Herzegovina ana ɛbɔyɛ ɛno yɛ nwumire no nso ɔmo wie na kyerɛ sɛ ɛyɛ 1-1 ana saa game no nso ɛkɔyɛ ɛna ahomate US ɛnso ɛbɔ ɔmo first game wɔmo ɛne Paraguay in fact wɔmo te Paraguay ɛbɔ ɔmo 4-1 ama Paraguay wɔmo ɛso utumi sɛ nneɛma nkoe amfa ɔmo and then you may know so Anakata and the Switzerland almost game no basso. Now the idea live comment to be brown Brazil. Romo any Morocco. Sa game no and no and you may non do. And as I came no ba so. Yanya pay my better friend I ready. You made this game no and come so far. Matches I do the expectation. I heard from a World Cup standard. And I say, after the assassin, Tiana, but check a crap, Pegosa, Eba, Kamea, USA, Anna, ABA avalanche of goals. I test what to me say, no, 4 year, a yarnessa for a single team there. Would me say, no, 5 goals. Anna, Yenya, Eddie Free, woman so, I catch a reference in Modimbo so far. Well, we have matches in Ibino. Sign na unso usi ehuno eno nkoma na enano pay yedi ebo eye dwumedie so ye wi a medical cartel say World Cup ni for we are no bia nim say ebe kama pa but along the line ye tete refisa we munya visa Dioko US ye deny no and no that Thomas type ate and so air Canada with the Black Stars what also oma deny no a visa and no that it is the 3 Lions of England woman so woman near man near de comfort boy we are akwa so many and so wake up no feel na yes ye no and one ye nya ana say tournament with them is ankoya na ano aya dia yedi ewo dwumadie so nkoma yedi no ewo dwumadie so enti onso ubetimi aba na yetimi adi san nkoma no but the chance other football legends na say ekasa eno da Zlatan Ibrahimovic akasa wase Ghana ebetimi aputu upset adi ama England and Croatia. Now, whatever we have Ghana born now, yeah, boy. Any the way I say you say a team, in fact, Ghana team no a different cry. And to you wouldn't say team a bit to me, ama other teams who want you on pardon, a Ghana. Black Stars, a squad, no, a squad that was really a pa. Yenches Ratan, Nafe, young friend, Regiment, no proper.
I would like to choose Group L. We have England. Is it coming home? Let's see. We have Croatia. I have some roots from Croatia also, so I'm supporting them in this tournament. And then we have Ghana, big talents. Let's see what they bring. We have Panama. Unfortunately, in this group, I think there will be a punching bag where England, Croatia will fight for the first spot, and Ghana might disturb them and take some points. But I don't see Panama. I know Thierry said about Haiti, but I think he's being nice now.
Oh, just surprised.
Or he has some friends in the national team and he wants to.
So
he's being nice.
You have no friends in Panama then? So you say no points? What about a goal?
I don't want to be like disrespect, but this is difficult. This is 3 confirmed nations.
Okay, so I know Zlatan Ibrahimovic no was Ghana I know no the otepeno minimum agent the yabebe no so but so far matches yabono Jude Bafo Atenase yehena yini hu nkoba kakra Jude, good morning.
Yeah, good morning Minia.
Na empom to say
nyamiadom no mpai bona unso
nyamiadom yes you here ade anya tie de obende
yes
ahode no yabano so de ani aba of course. So say na no pe yedi enkomo no yedi kan her previous matches ayabobo and kwanya officiating afaso akoso and even stars kakra nya goals apie mo records apie mo we first impression in the start of the World Cup no with our teams no minim there na also welcome
medasi bebre minu first of all Nhyira say issues are around the World Cup, they definitely would. Meaning, say issues around the World Cup, they definitely would have time to talk about these issues. But generally, my general impression so far with respect to our competition, no hasn't been bad. About the competitive level, it hasn't been that bad. Except South Africa, say on it Mexico, and it's a competition. No, na almost no Mexico. No, say one of the host nations. No. Mexico is by 2 goals to 0, and I love the atmosphere at the Azteca Stadium. Azteca Stadium, no, one of the most iconic stadiums in the world. I really love the atmosphere. Now, at a point, clearly you could see, say, you just love to watch football over and over again. Yes, I love the Azteca Stadium, coupled with how Mexico, the Mexicans, will share more performance or more than overall. Maybe Mexico, this is the first time no more able an opening game. Finally, Omunya the expected results as in winning a game. Prior to that, now Mexico with 7 games almost so far, 5 of them now Omuntimi, about draw me, back was against Soviet Union, Soviet Union, USSR, now Russia. In fact, now about against Omo, and then the other one also was about the same South Africa. 2010 World Cup, South Africa a hostee, on Mexico and about the first game. I announced no a boy so kai Chabalala Nigono, and also no boss our first game. No, so finally, and that Sarah Awo, and I told you yourself, because we'll be our pundit of the game. With the game next year, now unim the Mexican team. Now a comparative analysis. Now for the Mexican team, now the total that of the South Africans. Clearly, now who's a gap because say offer Mexico team no now for Raul Jimenez in terms of the quality, in terms of the experience and the goal scoring prowess. Now offer the overall performance. A brand no a level. Now offer obi to say Leo Foster and Bokrano or no. The South Africans not only the attack for them or no player across South Africa or also exposure no Europe or no Bokrano. This team and Obo Burnley. I don't know, just 3 goals and I watch it this season. So now offer in terms of quality, even offer or more attacking midfielder. Abrantiano Junior Quinos, no, about Al Qadisiyah, or Saudi Arabia, the Saudi Pro League, Abrantiano Nkwano. Actually, 33 goals. Even Cristiano Ronaldo, Mbokran competing in terms of goals when to me. So now offer or more now first our talent. Now even for now, the crown, okay, come Mexicans and Mbokrana. The main man for the team crown or number crown once again no assay. So name's Abrantiano, no small boy now. West Sissono, Gilberto, the other name has actually
my friend Mura, the Mexican pedigree. Just 17 years, 240 something days.
About the Mati Juana, Mexico, a Honna Branch and a Bonabo, Numpo and Chassis. Tis a not share almost quality, no, not just opposite to that of the South Africans. Clearly not a more. Who's a South Africa? Almost golden generation, all come golden generation. Certainly, Obeka, the Benny McCarthy, meaning so Benny McCarthy. Benny McCarthy na or say goal na on a Puskas Award. On him saw on it, Dombote compete for Puskas Award. Dombote made sure the man this player. On him Sean October. Do you have
yes, of course.
The man Sean October a bar had to folk and say Emra has any Santos a boy. Sa go now Dombote say a Buama had to folk qualify on your Santo Kotoko. Ebebo Confederations Cup Grand Finale. No. Sa go now Dombote she also say some exclusive goal be or classic goal now or say no. Sa go no. Any a brand here friend Benny McCarthy. McCarthy also say classic goal de my FC Porto.
Okay.
And Tiano competing for Puskas Award that year.
Okay.
So Dombote nearly won the Puskas Award.
The Uyema about 3 players na yanyo more do West State.
Yes.
Bright are there no.
Yes.
Diana that time no boy Diana CNN no. Anna Dombote there no.
Yes.
Anna is it Fatao Ishaku there no down long range there no.
Ono there any trademark obi oni ni bia or emra no was steadfast in any trademark. Yes, Abdul Fatao Ishaku. That commercial I'm a branch and make kind one be special. I will show you so.
Okay.
At the amount. Tisana Osha, South Africa, 1998 squad. At the ban. Who's a crap quality in here.
Yeah.
Because that time, not quality, no. All over the pitch. Pitch in the swing now. Benny McCarthy, one of the finest strikers at Yenya, were very sharp, very intelligent. Obeso CCR, they could talk of Quentin Fortune, John Shomusho, all kind of Eric Tinkler, and then there's Philemon Masinga. That's almost quite no unwedding. In fact, so he's almost quite no everywhere almost having exposure. Also, almost peer free apartheid numbaya. Ne we are seeing a support your one. Okay, say Ghana crano. Ya almost
yeah.
Ya bomb. To almost free apartheid numpia and Orlando Pirates. Eba beje Africa Champions League no. Almost no more 2 hours so AFCON. Almost sounds so just AFCON no. To almost you guys say no more boy a 3 ya be man nation. Almost boy a 3 be man this year pa. That time not on your boy muna kasa squad no. Yagola. Ken Yagola no. Aha. It is also South Africa, sir, almost quite normal J AFCON, almost also it was so bad. The next AFCON, almost called grand finale, and Zana, the Hassan brothers, that is Hussam Hassan and Nunia Ahmed Hassan, almost air stop it, almost South Squad no every honor. Almost mean call the next level boom. And Adibako, and I have South Africa. And you're clear, and you're obvious. Said the last time they even had top players in for almost Europe, I can see them Kakrampono. Anyone munya Steven Pina and then Benny McCarthy. Since then, virtually players in also South Africa no. Nan come we one nation first. No more paramount and back even CAF Champions League so because they felt that Champions League no crown na bono. Sika obi ewo omo PSL no mu a.
Obenya ne ade even no more pet travels crown.
Exactly. No more crown na nya ade a ehi omo. So se na nya omo domestic league na omo bebo omo ade a. De omo ya ne se omo betu kwan. And in a way, akwentu na omo tun mum no na more advantages kese pa because ene no se we observe ya teams are ewo Africa omo performing on the world stage na no. The into omo performing no ade baako. They have what we call exposure. Talk of Cameroon, I don't know, Etimide Africa, on the first quarter-final stage, you know. It was exposure. And Omwenya Francois man bake most almost squad no Makanaki mono. So okay, it's almost squad now. Because that time, no, bro, about the ball against a certain Argentina, Argentina 1986 World Cup at Diego Armando Maradona, Edo Omwaji. And Omuwe and Omo Twaso Saiba 1999 with Canisia. So okay, it's a striker. No, you good papa. And no Kraburu Chaga. Any Diego Armando Maradona quality. And so Francois Mambe Kine Makanaki mo. Eba stop Argentina. At was high call World Cup quarterfinals. The Mela dance Rojamela. Bro. And so your sounds to enya a certain team. In the shape of Unim Samida Biamikasa, Team Pana Africa, and also Diaco World Cup semi-finals. And our Diaco grand finale was Nigeria. Million Bianja Bekasa. Okay, 1996 Olympic Games. The first national Olympic Games. Me the link World Cup we say the general idea. Share the first national Olympic Games Africa ultimate AJ medal edema was Ghana. The boy Ghana the DK yes had no Barcelona 92 and yes had no. But if we want na Africa the near Peppa ni say betimi gold medal ni bi na ye nyan. But 1996 it took a certain Nigeria. Victor Ipeba mo squad no. Okay, so squad no one can squad no. Bro, almost call sa Olympic Games no. Me kai pass almost see Brazil. I almost see a mighty Brazil no. At a point na Brazil abo Nigeria 2-0. Time normally do almost 2-0 no. Only say Olympic Games no. Ronaldo Kobe. The original Ronaldo. Of course Olympic Games ni bi. Now them they are so funny about sa game no. Almost bona almost who so almost lead almost 2-0 no. And I'm starting so almost drop it Ronaldo. Any almost senior players now almost a team man almost nim say almost ebe kwa ha adwene no. No more drop on because now Argentina secure qualification. And the about semi-finals now. Brazil air kwa kusia Argentina. And or dropping the key players. Or dropping the win say Nigeria ba betitikano. Atwa so aso by 3-2.
Okay.
Because even third place crown it was Portugal and then Brazil. And Ronaldo said go be corner to go. Since I Nigeria squad now or the 1998 World Cup no. Now Nigeria squad no they were ripe, they were very matured. And the Nigeria squad no or boy ya or drew the next round or PF group stage no drew the next round and no say almost Spain a bomb 3-2 no. Our commentator Nika said the Super Eagles are beginning to rise again. Now Eka kasi as most squad no. Bro unim or qualify to the next stage Obia say Africa first time we say about World Cup semi-finals in Nigeria. No, only Denmark na airborne the next stage. Before the game, no Nigeria players no akwa nice club akwa jo omuni.
So me person would see we do mama said there be a time no yeah.
Matimania. She said bro say so far Africa, South Africa are disappointed here, but any more making quality no ever form. Into one your limitation anyone. Now we no a free honma. Canada also able against Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Yeah. Another host nation.
Another host nation. Wabo draw.
Yeah.
Well, lose 1-1 at a point. Not we're down by a goal to nil. And our born no more they take on. We no sounds about the US of A. US of A so far. I recorded scoreline at a Westro Power competition.
Yeah, 4 goals.
4 goals. Now 4 goals. No, almost share against Paraguay. And the name is so interesting. They say, I mean, say Chelsea fans, no, at a point, no, when the bedroom baby, so no. Akumetu by Christian Pulisic or assisting 2 goals. Now, a brand and the performance I was through year. Surprisingly, your book game now, and you who said when you're not kakra. So the coach Mauricio Pochettino had to pull him out. But he was so strategic because he felt say already there almost not normally by 3 goals to 0. It was that point now. Isina or pulling it out. Balogun, that's chap or not any the first American wama goals is our competition or ball breeze in the game. Me share the body language time now free moon. And after it no metie Abrantian in some work Christian Pulisic or say and said that any severe knock be brave just a count of a kakra. Inti American faithful I mean him say already US by virtue of the 4-1 normal saying in a way I'm qualify. Me that's how I say it. Say okay say ocean year pa competition we say obinya 3 points are now only 2 or more goals and likely say obe qualify. Into no I am happy for the US of A regardless of A be any maybe a air coso. But I did be see again. Minim some adjune baswa. At a point na referee no our free Holland no the Dutch referee. He took a decision. It had to do with this winger for Paraguay. Now, mobile ball no, and one American player at the tackle a call so. Or the tackle no a coin no team something. Or the tackle no coin. Then we realize that suddenly referee no a consulted VAR because not on sure of the incident. Or consulted VAR area no. Initially on my player no yellow card. But I call the pitch side monitor. And a pitch side monitor no. I draw attention. I don't know who say pitch side monitor no. I don't know who say no. A Paraguay winger no. This popular winger. Almiron. Yes, Miguel Almiron. I know mom rather the oil was simulation. Okay. Simulation so we know in any where deceiving referee. It is all deceiving referee. Certainly attracting a card. So the issue of VAR, a hand no VAR ain't me intervene. VAR decision e ma final or hanom. The pastor what a point na say VAR and VAR decision final no a hand no no because say mistaken identity. But referee no I call pitch side monitor no. The referee got it clear. Okay. Hence anya the VAR e no. Enya no so na ogina e take decision. Rather pitch side monitor no e ma ninya a well informed decision. Okay. Based on that and the man resend this decision na earlier on no na American no oma ono no card no. Rather baba be simulation. Okay. Yeah, sure say not nipa bebre confused.
But for the Akane this tournament they I think say we move for yellow cards and any other no. So mama the coaches opportunity for a review of
referees,
it.
Of course, say pitch side monitor and VAR interventions no. They are not allowed for what we call correcting yellow cards. Utie and not any part of it. And no essence say encounter no. They restrict you basically for to say penalty. Incidents are best games, penalties, red cards no, and no a hon na VAR decision no, estande. We no the no I buy no, na a yellow card. Okay. Hence referee etimi all right to say osisa decision no. Inti referee no a share pitch side monitor no, and no who say no say odiva here obenya no wrong and also sad decision until the referee got it right but what unsan go back say VAR okoko he VAR and a VAR per the ohun of VAR ne so no ekere say American no rather no should have been given a yellow card.
Okay.
But later now after yellow card now or no a share ne side monitor no who say no a mistaken identity. Or who say no rather I was say Miguel Almiron simulation because now when you yellow card offense hence near allow referee no the opportunity to obey me as a son and that was exactly what happened. But me feel say generally say US performance yes they had the crowd behind them but uye no free wa na share the quality of footballer bro no mobile now the to Paraguay the any one a clear distinct say no clearly a world apart and say US ever bonisia Mauricio Pochettino yes already more quality but Pochettino so asanso de GDS sunkubi ero mu abon no mo bon omutimi express omo said your omo peno nti ye bebo US abaso and me sha de bi oha say ene na Brazil ni Morocco bo no
yeah
yen link it to that game and I minim see we ani abe no so a
yeah no hawo okay nti what the be say no ase
okay
then Jude and so abam and Jude we preko now to us preko okay so Jude and what the we na yeah no the tactical dispensation no tactical board na nkasa so and couple with Neymar yes game na nkora o ti won't be mbobi nkra dey aye ne dey
that be o say Neymar dey no o say Neymar na nkasa no be
ga na nka ya sempa a big issue pa oh seriously
se player na nkasa na mu no ye de no e ba be ko no na there were a lot of calls on say Neymar there no because of the love or more the man they felt so Charlie or see a man of the final
that like yeah bibi di amana keke
yeah bibi e di amano that basically was the purpose but then kono na menu na him say I'm fan for
us we know say enya na so be kwa akobobi e bia for commercial purposes
I'm fan for sudie bia ni say bia or camp morale any ade because the Rebecca show system appear at a point so Black Stars camp or born in same say keka
and they will see kasa words of encouragement
exactly into the person and the personality na into na sade no but ni enim pa say so said akwa competitive football party enya dia so
exactly. Again, kakra bi fama me na yi empire and twaso from game no na yanko yenim.
Yeah, me da siminua. Onim say games are abaso so far. Any game wa eba no. Yeah, sure say enen ye be share the best of football or World Cup.
The best of football. The
best of football. Ene eni benya.
Okay.
Now yenim say la Cote d'Ivoire so ewo the game. But many games e eba so no. Dear anu e din ye pa no certainly
ye boba akone
yes
something sort of a semi final and as a quarter final game
yes obeka sanke stillborn and kenya game I expect to say
anymore
perfect but aba Gabi na me told you na me say me ya ade bi o mi trim Gabi oni ma de say oka South African nations e call ye nyina no o peti mo abeka say our quality no say we balance when the team mu ye pa na Gabi Morocco minim so on me be ya agene wo hono ma Morocco o peti mu our quality na balance no esanso e wo hono ma from the goalkeeping department say oka say wo hwe ne critically a omo na o side look over the goalkeeping department they have Yasin Bonu currently or Al Hilal one of the finest goalkeepers ayewo e wa asase so talk of the right back Ashraf Hakimi and also Paris Saint-Germain. No about Mazraoui of Manchester United occupy the left back row. Centre back no Issa Diop and then Chadi Rad, Fulham and then Crystal Palace respectively. Bra central midfield on or Sofian Amrabat. Either say or no and now say Ayo Buadi on Wolu on Mielu back on a bebo or central midfield on it Oani or no about Girona. So it's our player no. Or a good papa. Now bra right wing on who Brahim Diaz of Real Madrid fame, or also our right wing ho. No about left wing ho. Oba left wing ho ma. Neil Alnoni of Roma, or also our left wing honum. Iti say Usha or mutim ni panaba attacking midfielder. Omukra Bilal El Canus or Leicester City, or also our honum. Now striking department no, they have Ismail Sabari and I say Ayub El Kabi. Sabari me remfi say oko ni team mo that's PSV. He's one of the hottest strikers.
The Dutch
league, yes, the Dutch league no Abrantia no, not the performance no through year pa. And Al Kabi on also, you know, Oba way Olympiacos. On also a performance also. To say Osha almost squad no, na Osha quality. Names here Mabuboy, and will be our respective performances are what done over a period. Clearly, almost a team no, a certain level balance a team no, because the goalkeeping department are yeah can. Almost one of the finest goalkeepers, organizing the defense very well. Or no muno e basi bobo na emu nso as a goalkeeper. Or sounds so any ball no ebo. Now, Oba left side and right side of defense, and so with Ashraf Hakimi and then Majori certainly Adiaba expected. Omo bear sa runs no, omo just type of defenders are omo jino. Onim Morocco born omo bono about organization. Omo ye well organized. Omo team no very solid, very disciplined. There is balance. Say ubisami about side game here because many are not ubisami about side game here. Adiaba and very key. Me share how this gentleman, Rafinha, and Vini Junior, may share how or make me a containing, especially a wings on him.
Okay.
May share how or make me a containing because this guy, I don't know, a position on him. No, the left wing, this gentleman.
No.
This guy, they can't do a market and Vini Junior. Because I want a Juman.
I think based on almost squad lesson, maybe.
Share Unim, the Entia Hakimi. Unim, the Entia many every Hakimi, the Eneso. Also, Ashraf Hakimi at the type, always you love to search for it. Also, or push him more. And who will be Vini Junior? The more now who push no, a danger. So, who him? Also, support him. Some of more game plan, it's time the Hakimi be pushing. But when you have Hakimi pushing, certainly a bit creative gaps are on, and Vini will exploit. It me feel say game ne pan. Baby a Brazil I like say obenya joy. E be free side honum.
So Julian Ashraf Hakimi.
Yes, Hakimi sa pen no. Omo match up no. E be play a key role because Morocco e betimi e bibi ye pana. Hakimi would have to play a key role no consistently. Say he would love to push forward or be join attack no or be ma those crosses near there no. But more now all consuno. Na Vini nso no.
Okay.
Enti obisami a game we no. Chale 2-1-3-1 for Brazil.
2-1-3-1.
2-1-3-1 for Brazil. Game we ebe produce goals. Me who game we say ebe end in a draw.
Okay.
Game one certainly. Yebe witness goals. 2-1-3-1 for Brazil.
But I say Josia, ma memra so good morning.
Gabi, good morning.
Na e say
nyame adom bibia boko.
Well. Yenim come fa room proper. I think sir do the kind okay we dey tete kakra bi per matches ya about 12 goals and yenya e ho na nse da nche ho na fire kwa the tactical play na nkasa then fifi nso mla na yenhwe na yentube ma Black Stars issue ni so ye.
Inti I think Jude Abuapa with explanations into Nyama is see over the last few games I bought from the beginning, right from Mexico and South Africa match on my boy. And I think remember just a few comments answering Drew Morocco and Brazil game because I know a very tough one for today. I was say Yesheni Pam. But Gabi, I think so far so good. Ubisamia, I'll tell you that the competition, yes, I mean there's no tournament without its own controversies.
Okay.
And I am say at this particular time, no, one would have said say US for the a yard also too much because even from the African contingent, most of the African teams or fans cannot travel from their respective home countries.
Based on the match, once they say no, you be better so different.
Okay,
couple with other stories. So with the any match in on common now, you are by January one or so.
Mate, but say Mexico and South Africa match on boy, you know, the biggest talking point was the red card. Say BM.
Okay.
We and free. I think the goals that were scored on the day, and also the performance of South Africa, and I say attacking center stage. I'll start from South Africa. Now you do red card no home come on. I say Gabi, it's been 30 years since South Africa Omo 1996 AFCON now, Omo winning, that was in their own backyard. And Obisa, that crop or that generation of players said 30 years down the line, would they have seen Bafana decline to this pointer? They would have said no. Why? Because at that point, it was from strength to strength. Omo team Omo 96, when you look at how they really set the team up very well to succeed and do so well at the highest level now, they would have said by 30 years there, na Nyama Koso. But Gabi, what have we seen about South Africa? They have about 7 players or some match against Mexico playing within the South African League. They had 2 markers in front in Ikram Reynes and Lyle Foster. But the whole game, they looked very toothless, they looked very lost. And now, Omunya red card, Spepele Sitole, and now, Zwane. And you ask yourself, say, what kind of approach did South Africa go into the game with? Did they go in there with a mindset, say, or so winning, and now say they just went to add up to the numbers? I would say they went to add up to the numbers. Because right from the start of the game, they didn't look like they were in to achieve anything. And Oshe Hugo Bruce, your coach, you would have expected that during the game, when things were not going well, Obe sorry, and give some instructions, but he looked very relaxed. And that was exactly how they ended up, losing the game abysmally. But Oshe red cards now, the entire tournament in 2018, Gabi, had only 4 red cards. Russia 2018, only 4 red cards, the entire tournament. Look at Qatar 2022, only 4 red cards, the entire tournament. Matches. Then 2026 FIFA World Cup comes around, first game, 3 red cards, 2 to South Africa, 1 to Mexico. Gabi, this is a cause for concern. But one thing I realized was that if the referee Sampaio or in the first game is anything to go by there, let's just say in this particular tournament, we are going to see a lot of cards. Because if you make a challenge and you expect, say, be a referee, obeying a near free, so and I say, Uncle check over Aswa, and then you are mistaken. And no be na mistaken identity in the game between USA and Paraguay. Every single event that happens on the pitch will be checked. So you don't expect a World Cup where we are just going to see things pass by and then referees will not be prompted to go and check some of those things. And I think the referee, those calls, he got it right.
Okay.
Maybe Mexico for there, there will be a little controversy over there. But I think Edjuman on that day, and that was exactly what he did. Now, Quinones go no, I think per the carelessness of South Africa, that was what was going to happen. But the biggest highlight, Raul Jimenez. And maybe some kind of story in 10 times so that we move on. Raul Jimenez, answer now about World Cup way. Now about Brazil 2014, about Russia 2018, and I was about Qatar 2022. No one share go back to for Mexico.
Or no one can say your friend in national team 2013, and your friend national team.
So Gabi, from 2013 to 2022.
Yeah.
Raul Jimenez had never scored a goal.
World Cup goal.
A World Cup goal.
Yeah. For
Mexico. Then on the opening day, right in front of your own fans, at the Estadio Azteca, shared that goal, none other than a header. I was saying, in Kofutimiti, the story, na see ye. In Kofubekaya, there was a game that was, I think, 5 or 6 years ago in the Premier League. Wabra no obo Fulham, obo Wolves rather. Mune Arsenal boy ya on David Luiz a clashing with him, and he had a fracture to his skull. It took him close to over a year. And son was back. Now when he came back, he wasn't himself. It took a while before we saw Raul Jimenez play the kind of football that we know him to play. That be just a few months ago before the World Cup started. He lost his dad. And it was a pancreatic cancer in the kidney. So at this time to score this goal of this nature in front of your home crowd, while Mexico hosted tournament, you could tell that the emotions that came out of the day were just natural. Because to go through all this pain and then to crown it with such a glorious moment, I think Raul Jimenez, you'll be very happy about it.
Okay.
And obey dedicated go now, papa. So it was a 360, kind of full circle moment for Mexico team, to win that game. And I really think, even when you look at the statistics, Gabi, I really feel that the game itself, Mexico they were on second gear. Omo yesa come the caught third or fourth gear the South Africa for no because it was capitalizing on the poor display by South Africa that got Mexico the goal because we share possession now 60-40. Look at expected goals 1.462, South Africa 0.07. Total shots on the day, Mexico 16, South Africa 3, shots on target 4, South Africa 2. So they were bombarded on every side. And I think Hugo Bruce one year, South Africa will get a first round exit. And that will be the end of the story for them at this World Cup. Gabi, we saw how South Korea and so it came very strong in this game against Czechia, coming from a goal down to win by 2-1. Now, omu share and the second goal now omu share from Imbiom. No, according to Opta, they played 25 passes. They strung 25 passes together before they put that ball at the back of the net, which was a personal record almost set here on the day. I think says South Korea, no, the kind of pace that they inject into their game, they are a team that we must watch very carefully because they could come and shock and make a surprise. Into Group A, no, are taking shape. You see Mexico there, you see Korea there, Czechia and the Republic of South Africa. If this is anything to go by the time on the ball Group A games there, you know, now Mexico, any Korea and Beko Omonim, then maybe a Czechia or who wouldn't even some 3 points beer. Maybe Otimisha South Africa be 3 points. No, they will see how they can also qualify to the next stage as one of the best third place teams. And Imbiom, no, I mean, Gabi, this guy is very good. I won't be shocked, say by the time the tournament is over, one of the teams in Europe, Bewabe Chisino, and he may have a story like Hyun-Min Son. And when I see the Asians play, sometimes that is the kind of signal I get. So once we get 1 star from Asia or we get 1 star from maybe South Korea, Sana, they make a case for themselves at the highest stage. And then a team in Europe comes to take them and then they begin to shine. And then they also begin to make, you know, their country, you know, very proud. And I think, say, Imbiom now was year. And now, we saw how USA and so share Paraguay 4-1. Now, the biggest talking point, Brantia Feno. Folarin Balogun, Ono was 2 goals. He has scored a brace in terms of highest goal scorers. No, at this point, he is the one who is considered to have that statistic. But Gabi, I was very impressed with USA 4 team, no, because aside the fact, say they managed to score 4-1, which for the first time they have done. Gabi, the performance on the night was a sharp difference from what we saw USA in their qualifying and also in their friendly matches on Moboye. So Obekaya, Pochettino, Obeji, USA, they hadn't scored any European opponent.
Yeah.
So that was something that was hanging on them. But Paraguay, they were a local opponent in the same region. So the kind of performance they put on the day, playing in front of your home fans and knowing that you are hosting a tournament, you cannot disappoint on the opening day. And they nailed it, and they nailed it so well. Folarin Balogun, Gabi, they have to watch him very carefully. I know him too much. I know him, and he's also one guy who I think by the time the tournament is over, one of the big teams in Europe will be chasing him. Sanye England, it could be Spain, it could be Germany. You will see a big team looking for him to sign him. That was a very good game from USA. When you look at the statistics, everything tilts into their favor. Possession, expected goals, total shots, about 16. Paraguay 4-9, shots on target 6-1. So it was a total dominance from USA, and I think they did so well over there. Omaya Diepa and the game, no. And I was here now, Gabi, the controversies around Brazil national team, no, is not so good an optic for them going into this game, because if now it has been declared say Neymar and fit and all the 3 group games on the board in this tournament, one would have asked then. Why is Neymar in the team? Is it because we just want to cut a national unity behind the team? Is it we want to, you know, get the support of the people behind the team? Or we know genuinely say, you're crossing group stage now, you call the next rounder, Neymar will come and play. And I get the context. I'm for Bebre Ekase. In national team football, you need to send players who are fit and are ready to play. Ube situated that same context, Ewa Ghana Mua. Yabeka say ada in a player and we pra yede ne squad who to go and play a tournament. Inti enuna beye question sir at that Brazil for national team so omode ko Morocco game way, and it's not so good for them because yes, those controversies will be there. Omu nim na omu ko lusu sa game na. That will become the talk of town. Said the name akobo, name na den yede ne ko e Joao Pedro Tifie, Joao Pedro betimi abo and yede name ko e chinchina yes yon kobo. Now he will not be available. But if you ask me, I think people like Vinicius Jr., they will become very critical factors in this game because they need to step up and give Brazil the result they need on the day. And Morocco no only mean opponent. In the last tournament, they were in the semi-finals. Until all buy into this game, no, they are not coming to just come and be passengers. They are coming as Africa's lead representative, so to speak. Because although say Omo case no, Senegal case no court of arbitration for sport no. At this point, the current African champions is regarded as Morocco.
And even class Omo call final. So
of course,
stage no mudu ya answer no
they are on top. So Brazil need to be very careful. Say optics now at that Omo team so at this point no doesn't become amplified if their performance against Morocco doesn't go the way they expect. But Gabi, we are no free one now. Their other group opponents are Scotland and Haiti. Brazil beshe Haiti or beshe Scotland. And yes, me share the BC war and America. But when you look at the pedigree of the team Brazil, when they come up against Haiti, there's very little Haiti can do. Brazil beshe omo. Same as Scotland. So one would have asked me, say, what do I expect to see in the game against Morocco? A very, very tight game. When you look at Morocco as well, Achraf Hakimi, star player, a lot of eyes will be on him as well. Gabi, by the time the match is over, and Shani Yehu will be to say draw. This game has a draw written all over it, in my opinion.
Okay.
But look at the potential lineups for the two teams. Brazil and Shadi will set up in a 4-2-3-1. Or Gabriel Magalhaes and Marquinhos in the center of defense. In Tiahodie, at least the defensive solidity is there. Shenfifi Gumarais as a destroyer. Casemiro, Kwedumo Betinyaye. Look at even the wide areas. Rafinha and Vinicius. So in terms of pace and intensity, they have it. Then Matheus Cunha leading the line with Paquetá right behind him. Gabi, this is a very difficult team to beat. Now for Yanshe Morocco. Honestly, line up Ansha or the Beba match team. They have Achraf Hakimi there. I've already spoken about him. Mazraoui. At least these two in defense. No Omo. You know that Morocco, they have something that they want to represent on the picture. Eye ahoɔden ball on bebo. Train Fifi ho. Neshe wide areas to Brahim Diaz. We already know how impressive his performance has been at Real Madrid.
And that guy Onahi.
I was anyone who is Gabi. He's one guy who is very, very expressive on the pitch. And Ocean the ball bona F. So whilst a lot of eyes will be on Brahim Diaz, Achraf Hakimi, he is also one guy who is in the setup who can spring a surprise at any point in the game. Now we have Saibari, so original lead attack, not only leading line now, Gabi. Like I said, this game has a draw written all over it. But I mean, it is something that we all want to watch. Okay. It's by 10 o'clock. And then, of course, Qatar and Switzerland, Bebo, the first game for the day.
Answer
the Yeah.
I remember some interesting idea. Now, Brazil and Morocco are copy group. And at the same group also Scotland in Zoom.
Yeah.
Gabi. And the Morocco are careful.
It's Morocco movement careful.
All the careful. My remember funny history KTTV. Gabi, 1998 World Cup home. More than Brazil group. It was Brazil, Morocco, Scotland. Norway pen about shares our group. Now Brazil, Morocco, Scotland, Norway. Gabi, more than any council we see. Brazil first match was against Morocco. Now Brantier friend Hada. No mukra Hada Mustafa Haji Nuruddin Nebet. Ti Hada every also Ronaldo Ekoha. I'm a refugee penalty, a penalty no. Until later you say sana a penalty. Unim say Brazil says Morocco we 1-0. Omo we no. And omo Norway boy. And omo ball draw against Norway. Omo final game was against Scotland. Now at that omo Scotland airborne. Saturday no. No Brazil say Norway airborne. Jonda Thomas Mutim no. Brazil so free tete on Timi Norway. What am I see? Game me a concurrent. Yeah, poor game no. Not Morocco here goals to qualify.
Okay.
Almost so almost say goals we. Na say final game no Norway so Brazil say nowhere. Or no Morocco now qualify. Yeah, poor game ni we no. Na Morocco assess Scotland 3 or 4 goals. But wouldn't be see. Norway say Brazil. And Norway and Brazil qualify ahead of because Brazilians had already secured qualification. So our last game was against Norway. And Tiamro money Norway airborne. Some and Scotland and so Morocco airborne. And Morocco says Scotland either 3 or 4. To almost poor game no started so more jubilating, had a more jubilating. Almost pressure no. Sana and Norway in Brazil and I qualified because finally Norway I said Brazil. And no crown of Brazil 98 World Cup job. Okay. It's our group no. History kakre no. 78 it was Brazil, Scotland, Morocco and a Norway. Okay. And then Benya Brazil, Scotland, Morocco biome. Norway na nsim.
Yeah, and try to so na Fifi so fire room kakana fi yamra medi around the World Cup na yemi the way near mano and so esi ko I share your number one can radio station dia Santibeng na aje atumini o on kan so ya sempa 947 so eni ana chese unsu utie no bripe mu betimi e de wadwe nkyere e de aba adwumade so abra ya bia homa no e de atum bet for now there on YouTube na no ya Nhyira TV e wo YouTube na wo comment na aba ya bakin kani nyina e de ma ya World Cup won komo ana ye de wi ana ya tiasi e feel proper on the Black Stars issue ni Thomas Tepate issue ana fe air sports sports minister Yewra Kofi Adams in some on so e de atudwa e de afa oni nyina no ya kani nyina abomu enso e de ama so yama mu nyina kwaba emra eye dwumade so Kofi Dabi man no kokotwa Mr. Kwate
oh bacho the same thing
Mr. Kwate
the same thing
good morning enye the same thing da Dabi some me respecting the man aduma we ya din o so what I say aduma we ya din enye ni pa nyina de timi ye and Kofi what ye nim na why ya de ama nana Nana Mr. Kofi
me kwa no
Nana Mr. Kofi kwache good morning
Wacho good morning
na empom to say
nyame adom me ho ya pa so ho ya
o nyame adom me so me ho ya pa
me adom bia fine na Gabi, I think they woke up no there was some very interesting dynamics. In fact, first of all, I think that the very first game I shared between Mexico and South Africa no the game was won on intensity.
Okay.
Intensity. I think that's how the game was won. In a South Korean and then Czech Republican game, no. The Czech Republicans they introduce you a different dynamic of that game. That is something that Nhyira said this season. Our World Cup will be very, very, very prevalent. That is from set plays. In do have Czech Republic for it depended largely on set plays. Scored even their first goal from set plays. And now in the Canadian game, the Bosnian for also used the set plays to score the first goal. I have a feeling that countries eastern part of Europe almost said near the top creme de la creme European sides now. They will use two things: their physicality and set plays. Until you see the Czechs do that, you see the Bosnians do that as well. Say, countries those are things that they are going. The Hungarians most likely also applies that same style of play to make sure so much team beats Canada, South Korea, teams almost big boys and they will bully them with that. But when a host nation is playing, the key thing that you see is intensity. And the first thing happened in Mexico versus South Africa. In the opening game, so match any close here. Mexico were more intense than the South Africans. Yabeka said the South Africans were much more passive. Asena almost said them warming up into the game. And you see how many experience in playing in front of such a packed stadium. The problem is that in football, it's only intensity, one going to duels. Now you're more physical. Now and the opponent team are more dominant over you are adding. Say you begin to step into the game and exert certain level of dominance. It was a Mexico game now. They were dominant from the get-go. Pressing, counter-pressing very high, winning the balls high, and then forcing South Africa into mistakes. I've seen a lot of people say the first goal that was scored by Junior Quinono, it was a mistake from Rowan Williams, which I agree. Pass, no, they must see Tolu, probably he could have chosen a better pass selection. But again, the Mexicans set that trap for them.
Okay.
Almost pretending they almost conquer press it. Immediately the ball came, then was an aggressive press from them, and then winning ball on the field and then play forward and got the goal. So you get a sense that is exactly what is going to happen in almost every host nation ever won a match. As for the other things, for me, immediately South Africa lost the intensity battle at the beginning of the game. And I knew that a bigger thing said they will step up and play well.
So game in this World Cup, ubetima bu game no all right. Yeah. But I say what game plan.
Yeah.
We set your opponents,
Yeah.
Now what me take you on.
Yes.
The advantage is that they outcome is good.
Yes. Say yes starting game no. Na uma opponents are more intense. At the morning ever bono. Or we need more battles, or we need second balls. Then you dey say, oh, bless you, settle it to the game. The game will be gone before you realize.
Okay.
I think that and my category of games say a host nation or country free the 3 nations say hosting USA, Canada, Mexico, or the top European sides, Germany, England, Spain, they will exert pressure from the off.
Okay.
Anything when we say Thomas Tuchel, the England boys, not American team to go and train under adverse heat conditions. No, the plan is that they want to be accustomed to that. Omunim say, "Sa temperature here, but woke up we under no area." It's over against a team to say Panama and Ghana. These are countries from places where there is a lot of sun and heat. It's almost we are naturally accustomed to it. So they want to get accustomed to saying, "When we share Ghana from the start, when we press, when we counter press, or Pino back when making mistakes, no show."
Okay.
The host nations as well will do that because want the fans to back them to do that, and we saw it against Mexico. It was so clear against in the USA game, and we'll be a USA game. Maybe I'll tell you from the off, and you see, Michel Martinez, and I reminded myself that I'm not surprised because of the coach on the touchline. Pochettino cuts from such a cloth. So watch the Pochettino teams are player be our one. The Mauricio Pochettino will tell you that you would have to run. Over run the channels, no, over winning second ball, over physical, and then that is what the Americans used. If you look at the starting lineup of the Americans, forget about their goalkeeper freeze, but look at Tim Rim. Tim Rim has played in the English Premier League. Robinson plays for Fulham, our English Premier League. Very, very hard working player on and off the ball. Yen press, yen counter press, yen pick ball on the back. Let's come back and defend. Let's push up. He works so hard. Then look at Sir Richards as well. A very, very good centre back in that team. Freeman. Tyler Adams is a very good player for Bournemouth. So he had played in the English Premier League for a long time. Went to Bournemouth and played for Leeds. He has well travelled the English Premier League and worked so hard. In fact, he was the captain of the team in the last World Cup. Until somebody and Nefin said to come and branch a friend team rim. Then there is Weston McKennie. Weston McKennie for Juventus. One of them very few technical players. Into watch the USA 4 team now. In the midfield 3, Tillman and then Tyler Adams are the workaholics who work very hard with and without the ball. Then Weston McKennie are more or less the technical outlet. Yenji ball in the tight spaces. Yen making sure you be overload left side and isolate your branch your friend Christian Pulisic on the left to make all those runs. If you watch the game, almost every serious attack play from USA came to our branch here, your friend Christian Pulisic. Solid in that regard. Then they have the depth of Balogun and our branch your friend Serginho Dest. Very unique also. Because when Serginho Dest burst onto the scene, now all the ball as a young player and everybody saw him. He was supposed to be the next big thing over Europe. Yeah. But then he couldn't get to that. But of course, Rich, America for now benefiting from the European style of bringing up players. Okay. So watch your team now. Almost a chunk of them are from European academies. Pulisic was at Dortmund. Weston McKennie more. Yeah. Balogun went to France for a long time. And then Serginho Dest. They are benefiting from that. The technical style and system of playing football from the European point of view. Okay. And a South American coach plus the American mentality. And we see America say, she game now from the off US if one start decided to press Paraguay for no. And I'm not surprised. Say in the very first time in the history of American football at the World Cup, almost 4 goals in a World Cup game. It hasn't happened. They scored 4 goals. And the attacking quartet on show. And again, the quality of say I will put the Paraguay for under pressure and forcing them to make mistakes. If you look at the number of XG criteria, look at XG 1.42. XG of 1.42 now share 4 goals. A serious overachievement of the XG.
Okay, I say KBI 2 goals.
2 goals CB,
3 goals.
3 goals CB, yeah. 1 goal B, 1 B. But overachieving on XG, it means that most of the chances were not clear-cut scoring chances.
Okay.
If you look at the mistakes that the Paraguayans made for them to capitalize and get a goal, so it tells you that almost 16 shots as against the 9 shots on the Paraguayans, almost 6 shots on target against Paraguay for 1 shot, 53 touches in the opponent box against 11,
4 chances won, 2 chances missed, and that for Paraguay 0. Accurate passes 85%, fouls committed, and of course offsides and a corners. No, everything on the day. Now, Balogun probably will not get the plaudits as a top European striker about the ball in Europe, but this World Cup probably will give him the chance to show the quality of player. And one of the biggest attacking lethal points of USA 14 was Abrante friend Balogun. The ranks in behind them. Immediately Pulisic by isolated by Bejibon on the pay. Balogun will look to run in behind. Anytime a Pulisic may receive ball in a very, very good place, then Balogun runs in behind, knowing very, very well. Say, oh yes, Jumani, he will get a chance from Abrante friend Christian Pulisic. And for me, USA 4 now sets the tone. They have set the tone. I'm not surprised that Balogun had 2 goals on the night. Pulisic had an assist. Of course, Abrante friend Freeman and so assist for the Americans in a very, very good game. Balogun, of course, the man of the match. Own goal, the first one from the Paraguayans. Balogun said 2 goals in the 31st and 45th minute. Then Giovanni Reina came on. Reina Beshe any outside foot to them. Say, hey, in the last World Cup at the ABC, not USFO coach, your friend Greg Bell-Helter. Now Greg Bell-Helter, only Abrante your friend Giovanni Reina papa and any mame long time friends before. Now, Omuko World Cup, Giovanni Reina papa be complaining say na Bell-Helter money bano. And Ojiri said the man good enough to play. Since that time, Reina was also in that Dortmund school of boys. American boys from a European academy. I think there was some sort of an exchange program in America for 1 year to take some of their young boys to Europe to learn the trade there, and then of course get to come and play the USMT. Now from that time, Momo attacking Greg Bell-Helter in that World Cup, it brought a whole lot of issues. Since then, I brought your friend Giovanni Reina performance not performed. He has gone under the radar, and now it was very, very refreshing to see the young boy come up and then get such a brilliant goal for the US of A. The 3 host nations, none of them have lost. The Canadians, of course, the Americans, a team, my friend in Mexico. The 2 of them have won. Mexicans and the Americans did win. But there was an issue. The Canadian game, I thought they made a big mistake. And I was surprised that Jesse Match ever has a tactical mistake for a game like that. You are playing against a very, very good Bosnian side. And Makani several times said for me, the Eastern Europeans, our countries, you should be very, very careful with them. One, because of physicality. Across the Czech Republic Council. Only our teams almost said that the best European side. They are not. Portugal, England, Spain, Germany. Even Belgium or Croatia. But what they have is, in terms of personalities, when you meet a Czech side, when you meet a Polish side, these guys are teams are constantly on because they don't want to lose their duels. And I've said it several times that football is played based on duels. So you lose duels, and eventually you lose the match. So you have to win your duels. And now, when Jesse March set up his team, he had 2 center forwards in Jonathan David, who you could easily go long to.
Oh boy, Jonathan David. Oh boy,
so
that Nigeria decent guy.
I don't know why. Not game now. Jesse March airborne. Or person wanted to form a prepare. Everybody from the. You go long.
Okay.
But long. My Balog friend is saying Jonathan David move from a body ninja. Then you progress the ball from there. But Oshaya, in the second half when they came back, they were getting success when they changed to start to go long.
Okay.
I'm call long a control ball kakra. That's where the openings came.
Because me kwa na mo say, oh that guy Miller.
Yeah, Miller
in the left side.
Yeah.
Na attack no e put to threat pa e ma Bosnian for no. What you born na no peja ball na sim. Oh holu asei any Jonathan David san come bepem. Be Bosnian for mo wa.
Omo watching.
Omo watem bia no mo the ball na team no ma pema ba. Why is na nko betuma use lateral no.
So obofem and you go long centrally. Let them receive the ball. And then, of course, it was just a ball from central area. Good control. And he take you out 2 center backs and then the goal came in there. I think that Canada neighbors are getting a little bit boring. But me enjoy absolutely the United States for the match.
Okay.
And, of course, the Mexican game I saw.
Yeah, quite a big game.
I think that was a very, very good one that we saw in there. Okay. I don't know the percentage with which the success of Morocco or the last World Cup was attributed or will be attributed to Walid Regragui. But whatever happens in any way, see a bomb match in Libya, it is either we'll go back and say that Walid Regragui and a Morocco called that far, or because the Morocco form a formidable team, and even without Walid Regragui, they are able to stand and play in front of the Brazilians. For me, I think that the Moroccans were better as a team because of Walid. I think that, yes, they have the names. Azadine Onai, they have Ashraf Hakimi, they have, what's his name, Yashin Bonu. They have these guys. But the defensive organization of Walid Regragui was spot on. And again, and then you will be a testament of how well the Moroccans have built a system that fits into the national team. And I'll give you an example. Morocco for national team coach Eme was the coach of a junior side. He had been through under 17 and 23. And once Walid left the scene, and then they wanted somebody, so the names of Xavi Hernandez, Moni Adebayo, quickly they rolled him in as the coach of the national team.
Just paid for you.
Yeah. You know, exactly. Saying I've paid for Eco for De La Fuente, Babeshim. That's exactly what they did. Unless Morocco for have a same style of playing from 17, 23 to the national team, I think that this game is going to be very difficult for them. And I'll tell you one thing. Here, Morocco will play in the 4-2-3-1 like everybody says. We know Saibari, the Ejima Oye, PSG and Dove, now he's going to go to Bayern Munich, German Bundesliga. When you look at Abrantefen El Kanouz, Belal El Kanouz, one of the best left wingers that you can get, especially Otimbo also has an inside thing. Or back inside into the half space, picks the ball. They worry the Brazilians. Unai is a very good hard worker. Go for Unai as a 10. Enka Unai free country almost any quality of he probably would have been a DM because more or less an 8 works hard as well. Or one as a 10er, he will give you more physicality and pressing from the top. Brahim Diaz same. Then you have a bunch of friend Boadi, Raid, Diop, Hakimi, and a bunch of friend Nazari. Then of course Yashin Bono. They are missing 2 generals. Sofiane Amrabat most likely it's not going to be, and of course the other centre back, another experienced centre back that is not going to be in there for the Moroccan national team because of constantly being injured or team. So that is the thing. And like I said, the first thing that we may get from the game is how important Walid Regragui was to this Moroccan side. Whatever happens, we will find out after 90 minutes. Say, was Walid the most important person to the Moroccan side, or Morocco phone were good? The Brazilians have a different story. And like it has been widely publicized. See, a World Cup or South America or in the Americas, usually it's a country in the Americas that win it. And people will tell you about the story of the Uruguayans, the Argentines, the Brazilians themselves. Gab, you ask yourself, say Argentina after a long time and Brazil for dominating world football, no? They were not winning again. To the extent that the very first time a European side won a trophy in South America in the World Cup was won on Brazilian soil, which was the Germans. In a final at the Maracanã between Brazil's own bitterest rivals, Argentina, and Germany for the trophy if the Argentines. So the Brazilians have come from a point where, for now, they appoint European coaches and are confident in allowing the European coaches to do what they want. Because Omunim said, the times where their samba football was dominating the world in its entirety, seem to be fading a little bit. And now, so many teams are competing with the trophies. They need to merge the samba style of play with the European organization, European finesse, and a European general game plan to beat some of the stubborn sides. Don't be surprised in this World Cup if you see that the Brazilians don't play the most exciting. Don't be surprised.
Okay.
If paper and change sign, 50 passes, do not be surprised. Because I saw the Brazilians in the last World Cup where Croat for I am very, very compact without the ball. Now Brazil for be breaking them down. Then it took a Neymar da Silva Junior Santos goal last minute. Oh, this is our goal. everybody in the world, including the Brazilians themselves and the Croats, believe they say, after the goal against Croatia, then the Croats turn it around and it gets the equalizer, eventually eliminating Brazil from the penalty shootouts. And you see, defensive organization will be very keen. And I know Paul Bisa, Carlo Ancelotti said, Usurana. I don't say it's very important to have fear. Because if we are seeing ways when Usura there, who aboa jata over against your cra. Because when you fear, who bet me who jata. So, we try to tell when you have free. When you have free, after you know our name. So Ancelotti talks about the fact that if someone respects the Moroccans, give them the respect. If you are supposed to play without the ball compact, now also break a crack break. But use your arsenals. That is where Jude was coming from. Say the key battle point is going to be the area of Vinicius Junior versus Ashraf. When Ashraf is Obaba attack it, those times where Bela El Kanous will come inside. No have receiving ball in the house space now. It means that Ashraf will push up. It means that Nazari will push up. So Nazari and Ashraf will push up. The spaces that are left in behind for the Brazilians, no, that is where the Vinicius Juniors, the Rafinhas and the likes will feel like, okay, this is it for us. Tonight, I don't expect Brazil to have lots of the ball. I don't expect Brazil to open up and be too expansive unnecessarily. They will have the ball when they have to. On the preparing to beat the Moroccans. But the plan will always to isolate Vinicius Junior and Rafinha. That is going to be the general Brazilian game plan. Because Onya Nazari or wings the car. When himself 1v1, he can hurt him. Onya Hakimi or wings this one. Yes, Hakimi attacking wise is very good. But then 1v1 defensively he is questionable. And that's why Rafinha will feel like this is also my stock in trade and it has been served on a platter of gold for me. Let me take it and eat something out of it.
Okay.
Watch your Brazil for anything. Were you not surprised that in Carlo Ancelotti's system of building a strong team, Casemiro is so important, Lucas Paqueta so important, Bruno Gomes, he didn't think of André Santos.
The workload now.
Yes. André Santos, but no. Small boy will waste time. He wants a very compact team. Look at Marquinhos and Gabriel. I didn't care hand the powers if he didn't have Gabriel Magalhaes. He has still gone back to the experience of Danilo. Wesley Honum, but he's coming in with Danilo.
Wesley cried any plan into
exactly. Yeah. And of course, Alexandro Honum, back four solid, 2 DMs, Lucas Paqueta, Rafinha, and our bench friend Mateus Cunha. Very, very solid. Cunha will work hard without the ball. Contrary to what people are saying, I don't think the Moroccans can stand the Brazilians. Oh yes, I think so. Brazil for Nebeshe. Morocco
in the margin of
1-0 be like I told you, because Moroccans for now was so very good defensive wise. Okay. But I think the Brazilians are going to get a job done against the Moroccans. And then now the commentary.
Not 10 commentary.
So a very, very interesting match. Of course, in the Canada group, there one game and no man to Switzerland versus Qatar. The American but I think that the Swiss are going to be good enough to beat the Qataris in some match, and then of course Turkey versus Austria. Of course. Okay,
I know so I'm crying
but I'm matching.
It's have a better.
But I think that I know see a some match a go. Gabi, I think that the World Cup, that is exactly how it's going to look like.
Okay.
When you look at the World Cup matches now, but now, very, very interesting.
Okay.
You don't have to miss out our World Cup matches now. I'm excited at looking at the Turkish team. Because Michel Turkey versus Spain or Istanbul in the World Cup qualifier. Spain showed 3-0. But Gab, if it was any other team, the Turkish should have triumphed. And they have in their fold a very experienced Italian manager, Unimejman. And the Turkish have a good team. I mean, you mentioned Adagule, but mind you, he plays with Sa Omo Hakan Klano Glomo El Park with an experience of Demiralmo. And all of those boys from Galatasaray have been very successful this season and last season. The job of Italian defense, the Turkish national team is on them. Kenan Yildiz is also the star boy of Italian football. It's a good Turkish side that for me I think can be the dark horses of this tournament. The Swiss team saying And usually the Switzerland for Mobile World Cup, it's the group stage, round of 16, and then they are out. Once this part of any games may free on from Mochina Kono, there are a lot of interesting matches.
And my main system for man for a tenant sake, you know, me na wa mame or predicting how I name Beko. Netherlands against Japan.
I think the only thing I don't like about the Dutch team, your coach Ronald Koeman.
Okay.
But the Japanese watch our last World Cup, and even in the Asia Cups, a very stubborn side.
Yeah.
My best bet for Saad game is
Go.
Yeah.
Ivory Coast, Ecuador.
Solid game.
Because
I think that the two African sides are me are very confident in them. Ivorians and Senegalese. No?
Okay.
Very, very good sides. But the Ecuadorians also have a strong team. Look at the likes of Piero and Capi, Moises Caicedo.
Yeah, with a great character.
Very, very good character. From the last World Cup, mind you, they nearly upsetted the English. Only a very, very good squad. I think it's another game where I'll go for double chance Ecuador or some match.
Okay. Germany, Curacao.
Germany,
and then Haiti, Scotland, and so.
Well, no, Scotland will go.
Okay, so Australia at the end they went so young far and no friends
from.
And I mean, was a boys.
Started World Cup now. No boys in the first.
Boys did you?
Boys in the first. Can I say? Anna boys in one more frame Sophie. You need bet 2 accounts. Inti. Unse be call break kakra no. Mini bet 2 phone din komo.
Okay.
Unse almost sponsor here.
Yeah.
Na me catch up say omo wana boys now muni bet 2 accounts no. Inti minya bet 2 accounts no so okay. Ene me ba me kan che boys ne say. Say o pese o twa wo Fifi Manfred coach no bet 2 ya.
Yeah.
Oma mami promo code.
Okay.
Use o de come Twitter bo say link bi da bio ni boso. Promo code ne FI Manfred Fifi Manfred.
Sisubi
FI Manfred.
Okay.
Any promo code no. Ko register. Ubenya bonus. Almost 300,000 Ghana cedis this World Cup season. Which is our promo code now be and no be 5,000 or change be 5,000. Uye ni nano. Now we discard because enra boys on FR 8 odds any your World Cup 2 odds on the 2 odds for World Cup this year. They be a baby 2 odds. They be a baby 2 odds. You really need the bonus 10 odds 8 odds they are coming. World Cup no go full first country. My mouth and the coach no. I did this World Cup no so no. Na what here for no enko fikese mko chebi. Gabi first code no a 9 odds a BW 5C 42948E. That is the first one. Second one a BW 5C 4234E6. Third one a BW 5C 4214B6. Fourth one a BW 5C 41FA57. Fifth one a BW 5C 41E440. And our last one a BW 5C 41BAEE. God, video Michelle. What's here for little admonishment? Me person be able say fee ene who code in the wa say you know. Oko Fifi Manfred Facebook, obenya Fifi Manfred Twitter, obenya be a quotes ne da honum. O person register, so I use the promo code FI Manfred na kuche.
Okay. So Kofi mempesa obekọ gina ofama me na yense we ase den na Jude so ne Joshua Atwaso. But a quick message say o ha na yanko yenem. We I Mr. Charles Cheneboa. Wasn't forget about the crowd attendance. Our team played really good. I know US of A and no Adam game on boy. Mr. Charles the boy me over Virginia. And I snow. And so I say, how did Partey Okay, my main car room na was in the World Cup when different countries are hosting. These are things happen because how can they any big player like Thomas Partey one of the most big leagues in the world say womo and so man visa one also comment here and Seaman was so say remember Balangu was former Arsenal player. Okay, where the minimum say Chelsea shade now person who through there and Amtu Madid Malik was it more fire Majito inside Ashtown and one also Emma said August na Siedu was it Ghana must go into our match with wisdom, confidence and intensity because referees think Africans are wild and so shows cars indiscriminately. Thank you. I'm so say the way Africa for a bone into referees number my card pass, so we should be cautious. Then yet to me our game. Macobin Ando was it a person is presumed innocent until proven guilty by a court of competence jurisdiction. Any Thomas Partey case in no so Kasa their fan Saibu upon was Morocco will win today and also Eddie Abaso. My message is in now. Young Stars from Air Black Stars in a proper now. Young far in Rambad Kofi with general impression couple with Thomas Partey visa refuser from the Canadian side and then Jimmy Carragher Akasa their found said this is not football and a disgrace at the man word of football. Also on found nipa free no say FIFA America for and say immigration no one day say no ya do ya say yabo World Cup obi a plan with any player na game na do where we see me man visa without any proper bia say bia why say and say yet do say Canada for na chese ne case na rape case any charges na ye dia bono no eno so no magina o mo dia dina no Jimmy Carragher say won tiase now Didier Drogba so say I say time Africa for say sorry ye pa because most times now I say any pay the price of near my test say near me ni kwase ye de na bo say Africa ni ye de ayeno another England and so yaze omo so akromfo atiasi ma ko wi o machi poso wake up no the see ye hun that feel wake up e de maye any visa sensem no meaning maye wake up no as a dimina na say on course.
I think my minister say na
okay we bet me atras then ye di san come na floor na ye timi atwa so
I think say first of all many surprised by what is going on because of the countries involved. If it was the Qataris, FIFA wouldn't have said that they didn't have any jurisdiction in visa applications. In fact, Gab, FIFA is on record to have asked the Qataris to do Memankolas World Cup in Qatar, but no more card be. And no okay, it's a visa. When you have a card now, apply to Ghana, unko embassy. You apply, let's say, in your native country, you get that card, then it takes automatically. You'll be able to go to Qatar. In Russia, it was something similar. So people were not throwing the embassies on Russia. What has changed? In the history of football, Gab, it is just like politics. You want Kofubi Onuma, Sebi Yenkoma Semsa. And Americans and the Canadians are one of those people. Justin Trudeau, more any Donald J. Trump, they are not easy men to just walk over. First of all, America for no matter who you are, ideally, America want to say, and can say easy. Imagine say FIFA referee. Tio Gabi, the best referee on the African continent. Oko interview Kenya, Somalia in Mogadishu, which is the capital. There isn't an American consulate because Omono, they have issues with them. They have deemed Somalia as a country that has affiliations with Al Shabaab, which is a terrorist organization. In Somalia, for any Kabia. In fact, Somalia as a country is on red alert or United States. So, into a Somalian national.
before you can get to America, it takes a whole lot. It's just like so we're Iranian. Now America, it is nearly impossible unless you have another passport from another country. But I know the kind of thorough investigation that they'll put you through before it's different. But FIFA knew this. Everybody knew that the young man is a Somalian. Okovisa interview, Nairobi, Kenya. 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, now man visa. I do understand the semantics of CMA of visa. You can also be denied at the point of entry, which is the final place, which is the immigration. I understand. But then for a referee, all the background checks have been done. And yet, Nippon 50 man he is a referee, Africa's best referee. We did a game between, I think, Raja Casablanca in the CAF Champions League final recently. If you really want to understand why, to know, say the Americans, just because of politics, don't want to allow a Somalian referee to get onto the lander. Look at what UEFA did. Immediately he was denied. FIFA were powerless because of America. CAF is powerless because of America. Then UEFA said, through Alexander Sheffrin, Brabedi Super Cup in my.
I say the Katabi BBC.
Exactly. The young man, he can go to France, he can go to Germany, he can go to England, he can go to anywhere. But Americans will not allow it. It is politics. And at the point in time in football where politics supersedes just the football near Bono. At the point in time in football, politics more drew. And football just doesn't have that voice. Football is supposed to be an inclusive sport. And it brings all of us together. But there is always that one point where, as fans and then analysts, you would have to understand. Say Enko, and that's the case of the Somalian referee. You conquer that because the Americans will not allow it. See, again, young man who calls Somalian, I expected that reaction from the Somalis. He is somebody that the average youth of Somalia who say, you see, people don't understand the story well. Omar Atam, he was not born in France, in the UK, in Trinidad and Tobago. You know Somalia. Somalia one where the born Ababaye the best referee on the African continent. Inti form or Maya ye Canada. So obit me through one ebe successful to the extent yes you the World Cup. Now you wait for Super Cup, yes you mambe dia. It tells it's a big thing for them.
Imagine say when you say Joseph Lamptey, right?
You understand?
We do that big stage.
And Daniel
Aye. Daniel Ayas it's
huge.
We do that stage. Ama UEFA so Super Cup.
Yeah.
It
is huge.
Huge.
And Atam has got an opportunity of a lifetime. Finality of that issue is that Gabi, every country is sovereign. Until their country be decided to be running crew and no running crew. No, why? If the country says no, you can't do anything about it. And America is a sovereign state.
But there are questions a month will be answered. If such FIFA anymore all these things are Ebema World Cup no feeling as I to sing Bema we are Koyama we are then no more agree at the court that jurisdictions.
America. It's a simple answer. It's America.
Okay.
Even if it was Russia, if it was Turkey, if it was Germany, if it was France, they would have forced. Infantino catches what me he knows that he's lying through his teeth. But America will not listen. He has probably even tried, but because for them it's about positioning the country as a country. For the Americans, it's always about putting up a show. I see Africa best play, Africa best referee, free Somalia. Yeah, my name Rem because immigration laws. And I'm saying that the Americans are not wrong. But if you were other countries, FIFA would have pushed to get a way to get him in there. Because the referees knew, FIFA knew, said the referees will converge in Miami. He's not from, again, on free Kenya. Or a visa interview with Kenya in Nairobi. He got a visa 4 weeks ago. You couldn't do the background checks. You couldn't tell him there and then. So, country now, that's another red alert. Oh, you're Somalian, so you can't come. You wait for him to fly or call Turkey as transit transited through Turkey and then came to America. He gets there before he told him and interrogate him for 11 hours. According to the ref, he was asked, say, "Only Al Shabaab before link be no say Debbie." Mimi to me in case asmo can you no cry and say no cry. But what I'm saying is that FIFA's hands are tied because America. If it was Ghana, you come through.
Why Canada now?
You see, party issue a little bit interesting and dicey.
And the mamimbo in Lydia proper.
Okay.
Send your baby sports minister. Nhyira Kofi Adams and yanini di nkomo amu achechem situation ankasa send ye sit here on grounds niema Canada for the gina so a wo mo so mo ma party visa ema no entimi mbo Ghana ye ne Panama game no yenti open no.
I am not aware that he has been denied a visa. I knew his previous visa to the United States had some challenges, but he has since been issued a visa to be able to enter United States. And I'm unaware that he has been denied visa to Canada. No, not that I'm aware of. Okay. But I don't think if any such thing had happened, they would have communicated to me as Minister for Sports and Recreation.
Okay. So where your time and 76 says Ebano and Nhyira Kofi Adams at the way at the MIS in fact beginning on the na onya where say BBC a day SC and yanini di sa enkomoni we and no actually enumere ansana oba bedi nkomo akire mankasa womo angle ateso mo de deny Thomas Tepate say womo anso emano eye visa na wakaza tetem say in fact womo de anya de so mo ti ase kra the way niama esi ekono eye wrong say womo ema party visa entie no.
Players and officials who needs entry visas to either United States or Canada will have to apply. Our team applied in London and were asked to go for their visas whilst in US. So when we got there, they were asked, a couple of them were asked to continue to the embassy for their details to be captured. Thomas was one of the persons who was asked to go to the embassy for his biometrics. And yesterday, morning our time and evening US time, we got a decision that he has been denied entry to Canada on very flimsy reasons. I'll say flimsy because the person had already been charged. He has not been found guilty. Even in the country where they claim that he committed the act for which reason he is in court, which he has denied, he is still practicing and living there, living currently as a free citizen, walking about freely and doing everything and anything every free citizen should do. He is plying his trade. One is therefore surprised that Canada, which is so far away, will now apply rules to the extent that where somebody has just been merely charged, that person has been deemed exactly, and this is absolutely wrong. This is because Thomas, in the country, the zone within which he was even accused, is walking free, enjoying his rights as any other person, because he has only been charged. So I don't understand why today Canada is interpreting their rules to suggest that a charge means guilty. This is supposed to be a country that should hold high the ethos of democracy and rule of law, and are supposed to be championing rights of many persons, including rights that some of us don't want to even talk about here. And you think that the mere fact that somebody is being charged is enough to bar the person from partaking in an event you've accepted to host, an event that is supposed to unify us, an event that is supposed to promote peace, an event that is supposed to promote feeling.
Did they say specifically that they denied him access to their country or entry into their country because of the charge?
Yes, they stated so.
Okay, did US accept him earlier?
Yes, US have accepted him.
No.
US have accepted him, issued him with entry visa, which we applied.
Okay, so and coming in now, Kofi. Afe emu abie enti hena fe wie mame na yemfa dia council entwaso. Now from sports minister say reasons ya wo mo dia dinner party visa so be enter Canada da ne charges na ye de ebo no wo UK wa bra no si akan ma Arsenal no. That's the whole situation now.
Well, you see, based on Canada's immigration rules, the image is not my Jeff. I don't know if you can project them for us. There are, I think, about 4 or 5 different reasons in here under the section of criminality. Say there is a possible criminality.
No, they are too soon to know.
So first one, a foreign national is inadmissible on grounds of criminality 4A, having been convicted in Canada for an offence under the Act of Parliament, punishable by way of indictment of 2 offences under any Act of Parliament not arising out of a single occurrence. B, so party doesn't fall into that category. B, having been convicted outside of Canada of an offence that, if committed in Canada, would constitute an addictable offence under the Act of Parliament, or 2 offences not arising out of a single occurrence that, if committed in Canada, would constitute offences under the Parliamentary Act. C, committing an act outside of Canada that is offence in the place where it was committed, and that, if committed in Canada, would constitute an indictable offence under an Act of Parliament. And D, so Jeff, the next image, Oko D Orma, when you go to the Canadian immigration website, I bring you here. Oko Canada for immigration website. Now, Ubisa question. I have been charged, and in Pate's case, he has only been charged with a crime outside of Canada, and my trial is still underway. In fact, the proper trial is not even really underway. Can I enter Canada? The answer is no. If your trial is still underway, you are criminally inadmissible at this time and likely cannot enter Canada. So, mebato bofudi nyina no Canada for mra wo fam ansa no mama visa no omo say why boni bi e o baabi a wo firi ba na sa boni kro no oba Canada na say boni a ana wo di pe visa di aba Canada omo mfa visa emfa ma ana sa anda ho no omo wa link a wo mia so na wo pese obi sa asem bi a wo mia so na de wo ba se ebi apese obi sa okay me ya the charge say na ato me so ya bom subo say emom afa na me ne court esia di hu nkomo eno kra me ni fo ana me ni bi me eno sa mbetima ama me visa na Canada for say there be once we are under there omo fa na say your offense ana ogusu ewom so offense na aba Canada omo nyintumo ho dia wo be na e warrant say bia say adi utuma ya du betum ana say ebia ya twenwa so no say why be nkwa de a who apply for visa enya de so ndom makovi say no no exactly
afi ni yankomo
inti so again, every country is sovereign.
Okay.
Like, no matter who you are, Anna, a minor no supersedes. It's clear over here. And it's true. The principle that the sports minister talks about is perfect. You are not guilty until proven so. You are innocent until proven guilty. And in Pate's case, the real trial can't start here. So you can't say that he's guilty. And we've seen a lot of examples in Benjamin Mendy who they are not too almost so my could be a chino, not born in a crampono. Yes, Anna Netie. You understand? So in the case of Thomas Partey, it's an issue of yes, Canadians won't accept that he has been charged. But for them, while the trial is still ongoing, you can't tell whether he is right or wrong. But you see the stand of not saying that okay, you can enter. They say that still you are going under trial there, the international based on our laws. But this is where again FIFA comes in. Partey again, Enye Manfred Kofi Asante Kwachi. That is Thomas Partey. He plays for BRL. He has played for Arsenal. Partey cannot run away. Partey is coming under the umbrella of Ghana Football Association, the bigger umbrella of FIFA. And I want to Minister Kofi Adams say free. Ideally, if it wasn't these countries, America and then Canada, sometimes difficult to deal with her, FIFA would have found ways to get Partey in. So everybody can be right. The sports minister can be right. Okay, you know what? In certain ethos of democracy, you're proving the panic guilty and some Canada too can tell you that immediately the charge has gone on.
and he's under trial, I would not want to take that risk.
Okay.
Maybe say me money panema.
That's Canada's.
Canada. Almost stance no. Maybe say me money panema. But that is where FIFA should have come in and vouched for Partey, because he's a professional player. He is known. He's a player that you can bring in Canada. But at the end of the day, I think this morning, who said the Ministry of Foreign Affairs have written to the Canadian embassy and Canada for to allow Partey come in. It's still not done. I think that we can use some diplomatic measures to speak to the Canadians and vouch for Partey and get him to Canada and let him play that game, because one game on Wednesday and yes, I'm matching Messi. You also miss your possible second game, I think third game against Croatia or Vancouver. See, this second year qualifier, next game your best bonus will be in Vancouver. So it means that Partey and Kobo match
automatically I say or you're out of
yes, about next 2 or 3 games one year movie, unless the only one in America, England about ball Americano and open up ball, which is a little bit worrying.
You can't say well to my memory so na memory judo so and Emma wake up no feeling into sini Emma I say obia kwan kopese oh wonya exposure no World Cup no stadium ambiance koso ni die ni ya kama nanka stories banka kama fefa kona but I say die be hu supporters isu die be hu players isu die be hu you can say supporters, coaches, referees enyina esu Emma World Cup ni nye baby couple with Partey issue.
Well, it's true, Gabi, because with all these explanations, you can see that taking the joy I war in the competition, taking it away kakra. Now, Ghana, we are the latest victims in the sense when you look at Partey dynamics now, he's one of our star players. And in fact, in this tournament, coming into this tournament, so many people were talking about how integral he will be in our midfield, because you need that experienced personnel. So oka bibia boom na ohwe the way a betimi affect Ghana na e was really pa, because Gabi, imagine Thomas Partey is not part of this team that will play the first game against Panama. It means that you would have to go for Elisha Wusu or Kwesi Sibo. And I say ode Kelebirenchi everybody partner Kwesi Sibo. If something happens in the game that was about Kufrima, you get the point. So we will lack the experience that we need in the middle of the pitch, which is why Matthias and Gofo Kase could be a blessing in disguise. Oh yes, Thomas Partey, we need through ABA boys no more who can be through. But the truth of the matter is that once you take Thomas Partey out, you have also cut a lot of steam from the Ghana team, because already in Gabi, we have not had a good preparation going to the tournament. Panama for England, for Croatia, for normal friendly matches. In fact, Panama on bare 5 friendly matches and some they about tournament to him. So in terms of fitness level, they have it. Then Ghana, we couldn't play a lot of games. At the same time, we have these issues. Gabi, the Ghana team, they would be affected in so many respects. Let's look at the Partey dynamics. In terms of the mentality for the player, Gabi, ebe affected the kakra. I have been one person who has defended Thomas Partey so much in the sense, aside all the things that are going on, Oshe Nidimi Nana, he doesn't often express it clearly, say Abia Bibi Koso. Nancy say Oshe ya on social media na as a wakofa camera be na ocha pictures be, and you'd ask yourself, but this guy, is he affected? He doesn't express it clearly. And Mabona Basu on that thing, because I've seen that visibly, he's one person who is very mentally strong. Mentality wise, he's very strong and he has composed himself very well in spite of the Ekosunina. But Gabi, deep within him, he will feel it. Obe feel it, the pain. He will feel it because, Gabi, now what is happening is that a lot of tabloids and media outlets across the world are picking the information. And the account the charges and Osha, initially, when the case was going on in the UK, we all knew that he had hired lawyers, he was going to court, and the case was proceeding. But Abaya World Cup related event, Obia peke signal as a report. And when you look at even the teams that Ghana World Cup now, most of the teams will look at it as, okay, this is also something that we can use against the Ghana team. Because we know that their star player will not be there. And in terms of mentality wise, their team is disadvantaged. So let's find a way to now strike them hard and get them to lose their games. Gabi, I'm so sad, say we didn't see this coming as well. Maybe the GFA, the management of the Black Stars, and so on and so forth. At least there should have been a member of the team Obenwu say applying for Canadian visa no. Nkaibenwu say okay, in their laws they have all of these stipulations. For which reason? I was here any omudi nkomo back door. Nyomo say Thomas Partey is going through a challenge of this nature. But he has been selected to play at the World Cup for the Ghana team. So how then do we meet at the middle ground, solve the problem, and move past it? But now, Asana be very public. Gabi, even if Ghana appeal, I don't know the diplomatic relations at this point going into this particular case. Ghana for atro to the Canadian government to ask them, to help with this particular situation. But Gabi, the public knowledge or the public sentiment in Canada now will be that they need to uphold whatever rules is in their Immigration Act. Until Okoye say, bending the kakra to favor Thomas Partey, and for which reason they would sidestep that and allow him to play there, it will bring confusion. Because they will say, why are you sidestepping the law to allow Thomas Partey to come and play? Meanwhile, you in term there, you been want to make him come on. You moment say, say in the city here. Until Asam came back public say. So
you win in term there in what sense? Say you win in term.
Gabi.
Because Black Stars before say you be make it travels beyond, there should be a checks. I saw more concerning visas near the day. So you win in term there in now. Okay.
How did we miss it? How did we miss it? How did we not know that? Or even if we knew, why did we allow it to come public and we didn't try and solve the problem behind the scene? Because bringing it now that it has become public, affect the team. No, it will affect the team. Maybe we will not be privy to the things that are happening in camp right now relating to this particular issue. But on the pitch, if you don't take care, the mere absence of Partey alone will affect us. But the news, as they say, Aqua Bontin, Amount for they say Sky Sports will be a cover. It creates a dent on our World Cup campaign, on the player himself, and also on the country Ghana. Until these are the things that I'm talking about. But when you say Thomas Partey birthday, yeah, until you wish Thomas Partey a happy birthday. In spite of all the things that are going on, you wishing a happy birthday, and we really pray, say, to scale over all of these challenges.
Okay,
but Gabi, we should have known. That is my point.
Jude Bafo, ma memra also na Angola ubia efano. Okay. They were and also hesitate. Was a fire lady was wrong. Okay, my engine say na yanko US and Kasa, Nyanko team campo, me ba na fi once what was so Eddie Amame. So fire lady. Hello?
Gabi.
Gabi. Hey, Boga.
Yeah, we are recording.
Where the Boga sister man up na empomo ya de.
Yes, so I don't. We pa. This so much.
Yes, so. Nhyira asempa any yetiefo nyina yenso ye hwe. Okay. Mavis Amano Fire Lady Anna Yanono etwitre enkomo all the way from US of A. And fire mami just say yenimsa enra ana party issue no enso ebae eno ne major concerns as isi na ha Ghana ye pa news yi ba ya mo ho motie na say na campus tie ehokra na message ye free.
Me da sepa me so exia Nhyira any asempa FM for any ashofo mo showing live on Facebook obviously on my United States of America na asema me straight to the point. Yeah, as a man will be saying this. News to be a when say Obia or ye Ghana need to see piano. And we are a better jano na Obia Abutu na Obia Ayabasa. But me there is one the PMO last time the PMO almost 3 Wales by and normally Wales ball game by that was on the 3rd. I think so on the 5th and I may not see the but who said who bisa I say Obia say onim hoshe until Obia tell me ho and you say the FA no and I say team now because when you are who competition what to say and you may be what a very delicate say would be bad bonting and I say if you are very distracted team now and you might be doing immediately say the woman no be a band they wanted to keep it cool, calm, so and band distracted the players Nakasa in question, the team itself, and then the public. But so means Obia so baby I information there. Inti when you be asked me to me edit and I say ABC. Inti na just a baby in the name was said to me babon and say no a buy Obia KB. Now because saying a camp there. Honestly speaking with you, me camp ho.
Okay.
But me ya me wo. To say me tell me one year ho camp
okay.
Certain and the caricature on a buy and a buy. When na breaking be a breaking. Asem kono e buy the yen it was just that they had it already, but when we say managing in a way say quality and I say empathy the bonny like and distracted the team that here. Into Ababonti Obiati and non interested and be distracted, so preparation need to be a warm area. Mind you, coach no cannot to us who shot you be out back in Numa. They be a boys no warning to say. I said, Obia, you be flexibility be more like that.
As a team bonding.
Yes, the bonding is so tight and even we share your friend say goalkeepers equal say competition or woman tema. As I may assist the cry. The photo we are the way now we know how we so she keepers require and woman number move so yen players mean Jordan I no Jordan don't know to me class or no be the see on me players see bonded like the dia you come come men na down coach no so the football be about the room about system no ma you go price and no be a positive effect on the team. If Ubisami and we sure say a BB at the stadium. Medin Komo will trade at Yaki. Okay. Common. Mrs. Vin Dia maintaining this closely may short no, but they money or the mama de man. Or say, I send men out. You be Canada kwako bobo na ko show am amomo more growth we are back na ye ba you na ye ba ye be shia wo mo na kasa na obe gine mu bi na wa bobi na wa so wo mo na so wo mo so wa ko show bi ase eki na wo ye me boni a me mo eno a me ye be ba ni eno wo mo abebo you know what the boy. No, they didn't be what Bobby. No, they will be what the woman, not so more. I try to wait yet. Meet me chasing, they're making a kind of match. Meaning, say, well, the reality, but be out here be asked to yes, obviously, they make an answer. If Would there so be a voting work at the Nika a class in six. Let's just say, and idea what a year you think and crown. You have a woman say, Pate one of the best midfielders I know. Would you think me what? And the or boy and pan. No, so Sabita fracture, and no one and you didn't call ye. You were other side. Almost only one, and making riding up 26 months. I don't know.
Okay.
If he may GBA say, and not be anybody idea on the team.
Fair lady, Mammy Miss Away, your Ghana is there, Ona Ben team no more pa. Per the train no more, Cacao Wills, son or Moba, and now no day, ye train ya Carlos Torres, yes, away too open, and ye nanny near Cacra. But oh, ye train ye, any baby, what injury be or camper na say injury be or camper, a player bang.
Okay, maybe that's it. To see a need to me interest, mean, say injury be our camp. Mean, say one could do LH, and I want to see Virginia, a could do a Rhode Island. Now, one could be not woman to training via Amma, so generally, and 1 year, 1 first training, and apart 1 year first recovery training work. Hotel Honani idea, and you make one call, mean a cocoa training come up, and then an operation and yan say 10 a.m. US time. One back yet one more first training, and then you know my second training with training are very intense because you need to run a grade. Yeah. And for now, no, as to say, injury do a camp and not the video.
Okay. Okay, say Anka Ghana Nanka this tournament koswa. Upia Bontia, I Ghana same two be say wishia baako mienu miasa nipa banu basa esiabo so mudi game no nkomo Black Stars in gidie wo minim obi man so sa net here na se sa net here Ghana fo ni sia no mudi nkomo sa omuso mu ogidie e Black Stars himself this World Cup no be bibi ana.
Me that's it. Gabi, who the team war America? Who say but no, because we're Ghanaians, sometimes the main communities no almost didn't bear any idea. But me say one fee do tax down DMV and I say Virginia the first time no me give videos maybe why possible Facebook their mom. The Ghanaians Ghana for one boat sheet, every PM or Honomo, then Yasan Kitra, one doors one cata, a big crown, and say like one and CDMV and cotton one far and near this it says a foot is a census near Gemina and buy it. It's me the here the Black Stars of Ghana. It's just say. The Black Stars, the winter Ghana football, and say, you know, the enter down Korea, for energy because of traffic near the young actually, the tournament, and they are called Manoma bad. A band of the Black Stars of Ghana, who say, or mine, one more thing, you have Brokra. Which I say, it's also the biggest Mundial and Casa football more. I see. Ghana for Ghana day, one more Ghana for cheap papa, almost 13 make papa na. Me come me didi crowd with so money and yes, it is one bet man, one bet man, the junior hand move for all those days. I want to see her and suddenly they be nanko for listen for America will be means matter one day on your juma chef. Now funny hours in year grow. Then so a bit more to me I call it off. Ejuma, Oma call out ama otimi da betina hotel change do one goodwill messages ni support them the Black Stars of Ghana and it abu donana. Now they share even the Canadian embassy crowd about to just and confirm woman register to even come and watch the Panama game.
Emails are not so many.
Is over 50,000. You can imagine. And see, Ghanaian communities, you can really feel it. Say, Charlie, they know what amount for and like to watch the Black Stars play and all that. One name say, oh, any players are like say it's a negativity media. It's beginning now. Call up me by now. Ubia can't your back player be a one more displeasure, no one more be Ubia show me consent Miss Annuman. A trim for now. We are all waiting, say, a diamond ever do on the 17th, Dana ever send me asset. Not to say one born a fair game, not to be a pack or support. It's all about the ticketing and Nana for no. Our more a war a hand come once a month. A combat fast one won't be one more tickets, no, now the moting up. One more dear sugar that my dear that I so as so the door now, and I did one national training say, a buy an inch what to say no. One bit me a ticket, maybe making a pack of support, the Black Stars. It's a good lady, make your men are down. A more thing now, even make me come walk and do. In Rhode Island, Hokrano. Hokra, FIFA security, I am very tight, and then even home service make up use for you do more good camp or which is a one more air guide because it's on the head of year campaign a year, FIFA the moment. And no crown, yes, the head down will be when I think it's what.
Okay.
And yes, I'm not paying the woman go, I to say. The Black Stars of Ghana.
Okay. Mavis Amano Fire Lady I am multimedia journalist Kase or USA Eja Odi Black Stars Chinka Kaka there the idea back answer Edumane Nyansa say proper Nyansa say into your way from my wife na Edumane so esopa na etiri yasa trust wedding kobo
Match Papa in the main movie.
Okay. Fire Lady Anna Yeneno Ensu Eddie and come all the way from USA. Black Stars in come about Thomas Step at issue by camp on come injuries in come and if you yanya the clear picture their Koso or Black Stars woman so akati now dude for the main issue on board I discuss Canada refusing Thomas Tepate and work up the way you see imagine in him sanke and can we with the expect grandpa say a bit to me see those work up be assemble when there but yet the any expect say bad day a bit so you na yamfa Black Stars in proper yenya kakra bi aja ya doja fasante kotokonom kakra
bro issue ni share say issue one can no one hwini ya ebia obedi sentiment echi no ayira no crepa ni say Canada wade ne ho since 1931 na Canada ede ne ho say Britain aban entimi enhye emra ema no jese ono emra no emra ono ano omo anyo mo consent e ba cho ase Canada sese ne emra no enye na Canada o sese ne emra enye World Cup we na Canada ne as to wa obetimi aba the country Canada any wa wontimi emma
nyene na ebesesa
enye na oba besesa ne emra
okay
inti ne emra no eda ho dada ansa na wo FIFA World Cup no ye ba bebo wo ho patcho so ate ase
okay
the only thing I will betimi aye say ye ba be host competition oh baby a da na me kan se mo etro say eno ma oman no ne sovereignty ne mra ne nsese onsesa no ade ba kupo betimi ense e bia na mamre ne na mane no eno no betimi agugum cause onim se nipa hodo e na eba obia nso na mamre ne na mane a ode eba enti I say we flexible was ane menum emani embrace obia because onye ready say obeji we ase nyina na say obeji ahowo fofora onka say obe host competition
yeah
enti eno ne de also ye saade no
that is for your culture and dynamics you know
that is the point and on the also name the issue of nemra manie a sovereign state a sovereign nation and you World Cup until also sesa nemra but also at say and you World Cup until also sesa nemra no ye very explicit on nipo mo betimi aba ne krom ni omo ntimi ma ne krom wo se obi a ya bo ne kwadu se wo ye bone no se wo nye ye until you bedi wa asem awie akle wo no so far as you dey kwa adu abon
and on fa ho o ma visa
unni kwan se oba ne krom finito me patro no ba bi argument ne o regardless of who did that be yawa wo be fam ni abufuo ni ade ono emfa ne ho o se eye ono ne mra wa hyehye no ne mra ye explicit why mu na timi ba Canada why mu na enya qualify se omo ba Canada time na menua ede adneto so no ya ncho Thomas Partey bi wo ho
Dabi
eye emwa ubisa omo ase why mu na qualify ba Canada na no ye wo ho wa kire omo qualify why mu nso na ntimi ma Canada eno nso ho anu ye wo ho
ntinya obi akwa na ekwa akoto ho
enra na ekwa akoto ho
okay
kwaso obi aya bo ukwa adu se wafa obi watu obi mu na wo sa nipa no se wa ya ade no se wo nya yi until you bedi wa asem awie a clear of all those charges woni kwan se oba ne kurum mbacho what the point na say yente on ase and for now Thomas Partey dan ne eka ya bo ne kwa adu afa saa ne ma na Canada for say efa obi hu a ma ne kwan se oba kurum ho no efa no asem ni nie oba mra mu a yes emra mo se ana omunim Partey ana o ana Partey to say na Partey to say the point is that emra say ye camera any respecter of persons enim said you city enim udibre enim color enim race enim obia emra anya sa emra ka ediwa ediu emra ye exempt obi emra mampanyini afumu a Ghana mra di na edi no emfa so mampanyini edi obi edi no enti ye issue of emra ene e ka ho asem wa any respecter of persons enim color enim race enim origin enim sa na manyina enye yimu edawo enti Canada ese memra eye memra emfa ho ne mo Blasters ene mo Thomas Partey ne game awo ne Panama ono efa ne ho o game no da bi o game na dan man
o boko no Canada wonya okay do say bia nipa be costed won be nya na makakra bet we know ene na
o game ni nti no no ba be sesa bibia about ne kro hwe ene nyame fasa ma ne prime minister mpo manu gusum na so se koban se ne Canadian prime minister mpo sabi o hye ne nkompo a enye no no mbe sesa Canada mra patrot ya se emra wo ho na no anom de be yo mo adwuma omo nsesa no e ma ni nsiuti ni pa baako because emra no ebo obi aho ban nti aye no ne ma oman eye oman a wo ye sovereign nti uni choice na emom unim ade na me bisa me ho e wo hanie
eno na
ye ba Mavis e ka asem bi so no kra de asem wo te no fit ne kra fit June me boa patro ne date say
ene 14th and 13th right
enti mebo Mavis eti asem no na wotwe aba mebo enti mo pese mo kire se efefo nim asem wo ya na
oh no so mo nim ti na ma no so TV
yes sports minister no nim unim ade hwe mistake bi aba ha ye nka no kre sa issue we enye issue ananka wo se eba abontene kra sa issue we nye issue ano se eba abontene me ka no kra cho me ti odi enti ameka sa time na Thomas Partey ebefa visa form so obefele definitely requirements no ho requirements no obehu requirements no empanyimfo a omo edi ya agro na chi a omo asudie si o Mr Alex Asante by issue of akwantuo ni ade o hwe air preparations ni ade empanyimfo omo di ya agro na chi eni omo for Canada because ansa na mo be apply visa for yentim ne kwa no mo be yes I inquiries ni nyina say when mo na qualify when mo na qualify Gabi meboa mo be yes I hwehwe mu no mo kan ya mo be say no because you onim defo ya omrafo mo di game na chi okwa fe wa ye ni madam Regina ho onya lawyer ni Asempa FM ye we mpanyimfo mo nim emra no amu kan ya omo nim omo qualify omo qualify no say clearly Partey into that category oka ho yeah no omo ayemra no ya ncho say except Thomas Partey and except certain individuals are omo positions akese ye ncho intia wo ho enti unim first na wo se mo ye first ne say ye state protocol na mu ene afi mpanyimfo dia mo ye ni say teach you when you cry the according my FA because I did be on my FA minimum no so prompt here in state protocol. Say hey mother Roma, you kind and sheno. You who say party issue here that way. You can say party you kwa pay visa mana. E pay din. Ti esrem we bia mo betimi state protocol. Mo betimi edidim komo na mahwe na say Canada for no a bit flexible with omomra na. Gabi go me point on betimi ehu bibia. Munni san komo no behind the scenes back door. After all, Canada na musinia or hanom no. Ya ne nkita odie. Minim say Gabi wanya me point na. Mum pe clarification bi. Yen giant water. Enti anka mo seek clarification na mo say enye possible say party. Ebenya visa den na wo ye. Ye betimi aye story bi e bia party kura nya knock meboa. Wanya knock ka police chi obi. Say police in Chobia. Ebia pate nya knock. Ye betimi apebi ebi pate kra ne ho dodo no. Enti pate only available for sa game no.
So anke apply kra for visa.
That is the point.
Amon deny no.
Exactly.
Okay.
Enti pate nya available. Ti pate obetwe o US. Doctors treat no. Why na ba bontia ba beka sa asem na efe no eka anampanyimfo ka omoboa anameboa
eno kra de se aboa kra sa na wo kan wa asem ana yenso ye chese se na de ne tie ndi dia wo de eni asem
sometimes say PR ni nyina bambi sometimes obi ani ho a wate pate asem obi anti obi ani why your background check say no say no ade no chale pate ye ntimi nye ye no Canadians na me ati asese ye pamocho Ghana for ye no more cordial relationship but we dey madaroma and now say if there is a way you bet me emrano amana flexible kakra na omo mbe voucher for party no a voucher the man say look oye o manager pade onye harmful mu hu ne say within that context per emrana da ho ne mu nhye ne dey yes and quite harmful however based on reason A reason B any reason C you voucher for party madam amondom ye but on bet me catch on so say pate enye si ekrom honum sei kim omo ankasa security na o se omo bo pate ho ba enye wo na wo enye wo Ghana security na kwakobo na wo ba cha oti ase ena pate enye si ho sei kim na nseme mi enwe mfi se ba se Canada aban na mu no press akọ ne so Canada se mo kaya se ase wa biemu amamfo wura na ewura ekrom ho na eya na asa ba se Canada nyuma wo ho enti amamfo mra se mo be kaya mo no kra parliament kra no omo friend a press about no so na say yes enkofo wo omo sa na omo nyo enti aban ni mpo press on so say okay si aguni amamu mpo ademra ne to nchen ma pate kuku wura kromu wo mpo a amamfo betimi ye use opposition betimi ye use against us say na nyemu na Canada mra eka sei ana motimi ahwe nyame ani mama obi a Canada mra eka se sa nipa no based on some reasons inti no oba ye kuro ma enyeye pate asema na mempese mekire mu meka ne ye inti na yam see reasons mempese meka asem ni ye ontimi ma ye kuro no ana motimi ahwe ana Canadian embassy motimi ama ne visa ana ye insecurity ne nso ahwe en border control for no ahwe we sa ne ma ya obo nipa ni din because oko computer so obo pate din na sa stories no eyiba ena mo shama na ba be ray krom yi internet se mo mpokra no mo anya madwuma yi meboa no Gabi what has intimo so bone so enti a bit delicate wo hu enti the best thing is anka sa background checks ya making empanyimfo ye no mo di nkomo behind the scenes ena omo ye no mo ye consultations upon consultations your legal team wo ho state protocol wo ho ya ye ni nyina adidi nkomo Canada for said that emfa nanki ejai na etire din obi ante ho hwe
yamfa amma ndi yamfa amma de na be problem si ya ba boy
yes and me say yamfa amma ne kra no okay ya kra no in a way kra advantage say be ne say pate kra e wo knock utie say pate wo knock a ya next game no opponent kra dwen ne say pate mpo anya fit enti uyo obi bia pate no e bi opponent kra mfa ne nka because that time no psychology hey yanko Afcon I call Afcon because this time you see him play away. You said that SN. Hey, you do what said in Saka say or say POP mo. Oh, one of our players. You star players. I mean, I said name escape me. You star players back home. Yeah, so a prime no pride. And then kebet me use strategy. Partey any fit. But coach no technical team the obi say Partey fit, but a issue way because Partey has already gone through a lot. And any see sound so RDB before SI can ho. And Tiawa ye say ya na dia na ye South Tories ni na ma because already England media na they can use you. Almost say players no ye no mu hia. Enya de o metia Partey. Sa issue na mu ada hodada. Partey mu Ghana last friendly your boy. Ocean the body language or being kind show said the gentleman is really going through a lot. Inti any say assignment be before from abe peso. Inti osanka ye chini free sa or how we mu nyina. Nanka Partey ya no kasa bro. Sa do we do any tua. Ya check bibia ye. Inti twan ye wo US so. Ne nkonko boss a game no. Emra. Say be ya dede bia nkonko ba. One say
for that one, I agree with you. Yeah, because Anka same baby do Anka
mama because when
save party baby because say one of the key players you bet me do well on this World Cup now say obeka there. Then any can say you ma pressure be about because this 10 assign extra 10 and assign
perfect. And then here and handle issue of Partey. Let's be very sincere. And you know, they must admit, say Charlie, ya handle issue ni because visa form no offer kanya why they qualify for visa, why they qualify. Now be ewo. Inti e den asa oversight never. Say Gabi when
Matthias ya pa.
No say
ya listeners so emra mu kakra na dwumadi sabio monso ya nemu na but ko Samuel Boadu so woni aduana sa wie is na no be kan say opa
so Boadu be kwa aduana and get them say eni so be ko Port City say
this akere the na confirmation
eni dia so ebeba eni no ma no 3 year contract.
3 years contract.
On the Bema no. Port City.
Okay.
So third year no, and there's a first second year no. I say audit team no. A car league no. Not third year no. Born home.
They go SAS the Ghana Premier League no.
Perfect. Into no pressure any so.
Okay.
Into any India na sana be. Into a 3 year contract.
Okay. So Samuel Boadu enya sign the ama aduana SAS. Na nke be se edi korokonkomo beta enam World Cup ne Partey 70 no ama eno no de yamfanto efitina ko ne bebe ma ye bedi san komo no enso eye na yama makwanya na momna adwumadi su na so madwen kire momfa emra na yankoye mpato we de message oba na wa ye ntetiam na unia so atimi abaso bi na atimi aboaye pa for the sake of moi Monshada enim your numbers no mame mu bon fama mo 03220835810 03220835820 032208358 032208358 woba na waye ntetiam na wuni atima ba so bi hallo
Gabi Thuram.
Yes sir.
Yeah, I'm about to go to Bojima. Actually, Benji, in face, Syria. I will find out to you. A key player can say, look on 2 players, no one movies, only Bubidano. Yeah, you be able to see a pass as a man. Yeah, you need to be a better. But I let the player think I say, among cost 1 or more. Yeah, big make come up. Benji,
okay. Men come in hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Gabi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm a Fujiman. And found the Partey movie. Can I have a bonita? Bonita. And then Partey can I have one. And they are. Can I be really? Without it, I mean, come on.
Uncle, so hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Gabi Thuram, the foreigner.
Yes, sir, boss. Me pacho within.
Union Jamna, make us a PTUC.
Oh, Jamna, Mami, NTOA.
Gabi, Nipano, or Kano Kre Papa, I do know. Or Kano Kre analysis, ya come up. Canada no much more to what and to the patent no more sana. Emra no da da. Emra omoji omo free Britain for someone. Omo Canada no show more than US for. It's enough for 20 no mbesi sana. Na particular 1% carbon me beso be bobi. The inter make us answer you. Also similar goonish no. A structure on one kasemu. It's adjeno de bebo no kra no. Say adjeno be ko from kakra. It's be kra na kapati omo drop no omo play for function. Na enko bobo no. Na de BC bia na si.
Okay. Jamra me da say hello.
Hey Gabi.
Yes sir.
Keda bonya ku bonya sunje ka.
Enka wonso.
We are the king of Cassie Dawe.
Agogo say. Agogo ntio.
Lawyer Chief incoming deputy secretary or MP or Chio pa. Na Asante Makuka omso mutio. Na Gabi Mesre. They say ni besi bia nya CIV. Uni anasema no work say emrana na ma 20 ma nya fast antoto hu ni ma yi.
Yeah.
What you say and ya mo say we nyina ba be nsem bebrebe. But Patan Kobia, we did see what equal player for which my football and what will be Yama, Yenya would say, to try the body of Abu.
Okay, Miss Beda say, hello.
I don't know what you want,
and Council Mos Mensa.
A photo about the papa, Mutimijum, papa, and somehow, and some papa, and Pataka Mawami, a chicken subby. I tell you in the case now. Let me see one more. The question because I'm a good idea to woman chassis.
And they will see your way in Nimrano.
Oh, and yes, I did a way case you would hear your point. As you said, the case with our day because I should just see for a but in national, then for the people attention, the Mabon we are not, I don't know, but you about second match, and you're winning goals.
It was with us now. Open so you Canada now, the way it was better. Hello,
Gabi Thuram.
Yes, I was.
That is the guy who to be a chef and a bit of French.
Could you down for me there? Could you mean to you?
Gabi, and found this. Kwadia so Ghana be gap no e be Korea. But we wake up. It is start prepare. So Ghana e kwaje cap no dia ba Ghana ase. En found it says party en say India e be.
Okay.
Mo say de mu ko no bia available so babo no. It is party de ofra sela ye Ghana no. Me dey see me ni pede no type na chi. En found ni NPP and NDC. Me see e Jacob de Korea.
Onka also Menko Beneme Halo
Gabi Thuram the foreigner.
Yes, sir.
Pacho, Midian Joel, Midodo and Makoben.
Okay.
Na Gabi, person which I say, answer on Makonamra, no month, on think of Bibia, the same age, my new crampono, Mefan, I my crampona. Ubana, my notice, Bobana, people be at or say, oh, bay. Ni say net here. So Canada for Mudi Kaya and the China to honor Ghana for a son of the Anasa and 7 new.
But Omamland order that then open so apply for Canadian visa. Sunday man, yes, one cousin already.
Oh, hard there, but no GD say a coin was a coin bit more coin. Boys or Mamma Camunia GD. Mamma can say party or hunting to me. Yaman come on, Gabi.
Okay, Mensubeda say Yamfa last two na Yanko Yenim. Hello, yes, sir.
Now, what is that?
I know pay engineer Minyante and Cabot Minim Senna Hoye.
Ah, so no, now the boss no we are some location. I was with you, pal. I only need to far. On a boy, to the fight. I can't do the match. 27 I'm not. Then I answer. Papa, now I want to go. Please, bye. Long, do go. I'm going to run away. You are not. You're not now, you know, I'm going to get part of politics now. And these young people, you know, a couple of months in the bag. And yet, you're only a bit more. Okay,
Mensumeda say, Menko Beneme, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Number 1, crew myself.
Of a key watch my mintiwe.
Emra, Ugruni Mladi, in fact, Omudium Niagro, nti wo de so mo de die ya ye mfa no ntinsen ye mfa obi obetima ginam afọ ball na me ya je ye wo fem se ball no ye be hye nti no do mo ye nyina no ye mfa flash no ntita tradia ne tasi ho ye magana ko hu se bibi koso
okay
ye be din kunim that's it
men so be that say hello oh when to me nyina so hello my last caller.
Hello.
Yes sir.
Morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so me can skip am ka say edu kwa.
Okay, me na ma mintie we.
Because last time in England no. Papiri tu ya bobia.
Black Stars in England they obetimi abo.
Enti me tell mo ha. Yes, ni bitie ni a. Na ka owo patati amad numbers na papi. Na ka yes say I can obeti am na so ntia no.
Matias okay, yes, I say my fa course ni nyina fa ensia no say na memfa nkomo kakrai enso emfanremo ja enwuma ekwa o madaromo mo eso ya sena manse Rural Bank amanse Community Bank PLC amanse Community Bank PLC wo mo say over be 40 years ni na o mo ba Ghana ha in fact o maboa ma bank na akoye pa enti wo pesa we bank bi eduduma amanse ana mekan for the ama e ba na fixed deposit o mo eye edi amafe ohia se unya susu account current account ni service account ni nyina mo ye the amount eba no loans are commercial loans no overdrafts afi eba no salary loan above government any private workers eba no pensioner loans no so mo de ni nyina ebi amount ene top up no simisu loan ebi ho microfinance loan bi ho akuafo enkoso no so no ye group loan a ye de emanti you kwa na open loan edi iron pacho oba amanse enso ebeboa ye pa Ghana de omudi ntintima ye pa enam so mu use ATM service Ghana Pay service mobile money wallet for air banks ni nyina adwuma afi opese use e-switcher ni nyina adwuma USSD money transfer ni nyina ade sa manse edi ho adwuma afi ade sa abefo kwantempo so VI ni nyina adwuma unity link de adwuma se wesi uni adwuma enti oba ntoa krom ho na head office ewo manso kwanta manso adubia manso data no bekwai eno so ye ho ye ben post office no afi ahwan kwanta eno so ubenya Obuasi road akokari ye ne college of education ana eboso ana Roma hen so kote station ha asem cars campus ye ho ahojo ye bena chenga Jansen Santase opoku wari school no enchono me pe so for lie there ene ade se transport one ma terminal ho ana ye bo ye numbers ni 0247200013 ana se we ya complaints bi anso eno so 05 01646 na fe woni amanse so edin kobo san kablo se ban electrical cables onom ana ko bobo pa edin na edi abo mo cables ne eye papa se 1.5 cables 2.5 afe uhia eye 8mm 16 ni nyina bi flexible ene eye socket multi lamp holders ni nyina omode aba eno eye san kablo we besi dan pa dia why is there omadwo so eni omo eni komo 05 eye 34 800-832 na when san kablo so edi enkomo eno ati ma men count say nyadwa de etu ase Kemford Herbal Mixture nyadwa betu ase yade nkrankro de na edi tu ase diabetes and say BP no akosoro but we de na say uhia support for liver infections how do betu ase we do Kemford Herbal Mixture Kumasia your numbers ne 0245 455-740 and as 0245-588-266 na when you do so etu atom na etimi aboye pa insure fa winim say yeguso live commentary no ye de bro ye ni SG mo ana aka abom ana ye bo combo no enti ye game village no ye game village SG mo nyuma ye copy na aso asenti enne anwumire ya kan say enondu eno so ye beba na 10 ye beba near the live commentary ne dia abramuti me na hwe anu maja dia mafatro na aja o ma ye adwuma na international kwabna Dubai the international kwabna Dubai sa kwabna nya baby okay what say 39 days they become this, you know 38 days yeah you ba ko afimu
say me we say June 30 days
sa enti 38 days okay enti kwabena yafu adwuma 30 days wate ye wiane yabeka wasa kwabena empom to say
boss yanko pardon ya hwe bia boko
intenesa kwabena Dubai no anti commentary de mpacho wa hume na hu kwabena Dubai mpacho insure FM wa hu kwabena na hu sokoban fatula kwabena Dubai any fatulo na tulo den na wa ravi this decision kwabena Dubai
oh say on say ekromia de commentary de obo na woten kan no on say commentary no yedai o you good and kwabena Dubai one of the guys osuan de pa and the balance enya commentary there we very good
okay
ntino ye hwemu na se da bi adwuma ye nkwan ntimi yedai
enye ntimi nye ebewi ni ewu
discuss with the G nkwan ka so be discuss na be with the G
ande
ese nyu embere em support ye
okay
nti wa ba no so de ye mana kwa ba bibia so timi ye etimi sima no
ande zene we also maduma pj best ye national service ndi we national service na ye dia etimi trazo kwa na akwa aba
boss me joso
na there na expect commentary bremu
the best that is so
I
say Ghana there only to say in terms of commentary there said your more money in the media industry no you serve you a lot so this is the time I was say the highest stage of the Mundial 2026 you know yes we give you the best for Asante region and the whole people of Ghana
okay nti kwabena ba no official kwabena Dubai
boss
na okay ma menye we na ye hwe na ye sorry brand be biri o hode mountain suru everyday no they can there ye wodia na odo tilo the attention the 3rd edition of Ghana Festival Udine Italy 2026 there no baso den atese enya asem gotwa Saturday and the 4th July 2026 na dem say next month and baso venue no Piazza de Umo Udine ho ana chese baso den anti we from Sita Donko wono ana we program committee chairman organa chairman me we invite na no da we so be invite we mo invite we say morning session say mo say mo ye walk and clean up exercise anka ja mo ye bibi wo idini clean up exercise dey ye timi we aduma mo so mo san dia ye clean up exercise dey zan kanya yi bia enti on the 4th of July okay say bi wo mto mbetimi dia ba e ja nkrofo no mo so mo me ma we dey say
dey ye world cup dey wo ja aduma no akọ
me were you do me japa me na eka nti we dey
okay
masse some adwene ti do ye chair no
and they having gate birthday
why
champion having gate
eja be na
is Koko FM Koko FM
akwa weska
na the birthday
okay
and it's having gate happy birthday to Koko Shiraw no go so no onye okese don't sabi so bia erade emanenye kama intimi emfa ema
kwabra Dubai chia ni anko na
mama chia Ghana mama chia Santama ni wiase nyira nyanko paduma the best ever bar from Share FM 104.5 boss
yo na say abusia e di Dubai de nyina e di esi adum say na ya so de wai da wo de o prekra do we anya papa ya okwani ya mama na ni anya no yi na mbeka no so ma wo tetimi lonka oti Joshua Holotunka ana oti fifi ma fede enso enka ebre die fire akwasi fire wo mo bede ni abuzia e die sinema anso de kra menya asem